And if you are listening to this podcast, you have excellent taste in art.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another Nerds Galore live stream. Today is going to be a fun discussion. I am looking forward to it. We will be talking about Andor. Is it a masterpiece or a disaster? Got some friends here I'm going to bring in. We got some others that will be joining us. We got my buddy here, Muff Bunzo. What's going on, Muff? How you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me in.
Yeah, absolutely. We got Andy Classified in here. How we doing, sir?
Good. How are you, sir?
Doing well. We got Mr. Battle Packs official himself. Look at him go.
What up? How we
He's
doing?
here. Doing well, man. Good to have you. We got Commander Jesse in the house, all the way from Australia, mate.
What's going on, boys?
How's it going? And we have Josiah Bra in the house. How you doing? All right.
All right, redo it.
I love it. What an intro. We got about 2 or 3 others that will be joining us here in a little bit. They'll be a tad late, but Battle Packs, have you met Andy yet?
No, not yet.
No? Go ahead, Andy. Introduce yourself. This is my friend Andy. I kind of grew up with him, so he's another artist. I
So
surround
sorry
myself
for you,
with
Andy.
artists.
I'm so
Nice.
sorry.
Indeed. Howdy.
Muff.
Nice to
Hey.
meet you.
Muff's over
Nice
here.
to-
I'm so sorry,
Nice to
man.
meet you, man.
Hey, you too, brother. My name's Steven. You can call me. I guess now it's cool to call me Battle Packs since the whole thing. But
Whatever you prefer.
Steven or
man.
Battle, but no, whatever you guys like, man.
Yeah.
I prefer Estevan.
Estema. And then I don't think I've met Josiah either. So
I haven't met him.
that's
Same.
my brother.
Nice to
Hey,
meet
how's it going?
Yeah.
I'm Josiah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Heck
You too,
yeah.
brother.
Well, you
Battle-
guys on the stream, anyone watching, you know me, but why don't we go around starting with Muff and let's talk about your channel a little bit, because you're next to me. Sorry, bro. You showed up next to me on my side here.
Drive
So,
me down.
yeah, right. So just talk about your channel, kind of what you do and where people can find you.
I don't have a channel yet. I have a dead podcast. If you're gonna want to go watch a couple videos,
This guy.
the channel's on the works. It's in the works. I'm mostly on Whatnot. You can find me on Instagram. I stream on Twitch. We do all kinds of stuff here, and yeah, I'm growing. These guys are the big dogs.
I'm not a big dog yet. Ain't no
All
way. Andy,
All right.
you're next.
Well, I'm Andy. I'm an artist and illustrator, and you can find me on Twitter at Andy Classified, and on Instagram at Andy_Classified. Also, today is Free Comic Book Day, so on there are some links to my comics that are free on Gumroad currently.
Love Gumroad.
There you
Got
go.
some really good stuff on Gumroad.
There you go. All right, Battle Packs.
All right, well, my name is Battle Packs. I run a Lego store where we specialize in custom Lego Star Wars sets that we include pieces and instructions and pretty much anything Lego Star Wars related is what I do. And also I do Whatnot. If you guys like Star Wars tops, I'm a Whatnot breaker, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Battle Packs pretty much everywhere.
Yeah. If you go to battlepacks.net, use code Gazer10, you get 10% off. By
Yes,
the way,
sir.
yeah,
Shameless plugs.
that's how I roll, baby. That's how I roll. Commander Jesse, go for it.
Yeah, obviously my name's Jesse, so Commander Jesse. I try and cover all things, lore, vlogs, reactions. We just got Tales of the Underworld here. Mail days, gaming, live streams, all that sort of good fun. And yeah, you can find me on YouTube and Instagram are the main ones, but I'm also on TikTok and Twitter.
Sick. Love it. Great. Josiah, bro.
Hey, what's good, everyone? Yeah, I'm just a nerdy gym rat who just loves Star Wars and love to swing lightsabers too. So you ever catch me on Instagram? My username is just what you see on the screen here. It says Josiah Bra, and I'm also on TikTok too as well. You'll see some of my convention photos of celebrities I met and a lot of lightsaber spins as well, and a little bit of gym content too. So
Sick.
yeah.
Heck
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
All right, Commander Jesse, without spilling anything, Tales of the Underworld, yay or nay?
Well, I'm trying to. No. Yeah, I know it's not great. It's not great reaction, is it? I'm trying to. We'll say we'll split it into 2 arcs. One arc is like one arc is like okay, not too like yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Canceled.
We got Mariana in the chat says Commander Jesse goes on movie pod with Isaac Holland. There
Yes,
you go.
sir.
I love it. Yep, great stuff. How are you? Are you guys excited for this? For the Tales of the Underworld? Out of 10, what would you say your excitement level is?
6.
One.
6. I'll say.
6?
Well, considering the last one, yeah, like 6, 7.
Okay.
But did anyone catch the first 2 episodes on Fortnite?
I did not know. I'm not a Fortnite player.
Yeah, me neither. But
not
I
a
said
gamer.
I had the game downloaded already from before, and I hopped in, and I liked the first 2 episodes. I don't
Okay.
want to spoil anything, but they were entertaining.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Andy, when I asked that question, you shook your head. Why is that?
I haven't even seen Tales of the Jedi or Tales of the Empire, so
Okay.
I just
There.
Yep. It says Jesse just doesn't like any of the Tales series. He said he hates Tales of the Jedi. That was a 1 out of 10.
Is that where he went?
Yeah, he always retreats to the comments like his boy.
He
Yep.
is the best shit stir ever.
Yep. You know what? I'm glad he's at least in here somewhere because Nerd always makes it interesting. I love it. Mariana says I'm a level 7 to 8. All right. All right. I'm excited for it just because I like Cad Bane and he doesn't have his tubes in there, so it's like it seems to me like it's an intro to Cad Bane, which I love. So super excited. Well, one of the things obviously that we're going to talk about tonight, guys, for the 15 of you in here, once we get a couple more people here, is obviously Andor. There's been a lot of back and forth. Surprisingly, I know Outer Rim Transmissions got a hold of me this last week and was like, dude, there are so many people that love Andor. That he's like, I'm seeing it all over social media. People are loving this. And I'm like, dude, I almost fell asleep to it the other night.
Yeah.
So I initial thoughts before we get too deep without the other guys.
I personally really enjoy it.
Okay.
I have problems with the decisions they make are really dumb, but it's actually well written and engaging. Just it's got issues.
It's watching the show is just like watching a C-SPAN network and House of Cards in the space station, honestly. So
Literally.
and surprisingly, one of the guys who did a House of Cards actually did the show as well. And I was like, okay, yep, the vibe just makes sense. It's just too much dialogue. It's too much. I'd rather just at this point watch Rogue One at this point.
Yeah.
Understand.
I felt like it's an easy skip because we were so used to like not having Andor at all, and we just have Rogue One, right? So it's like, what's really not missing? Do I really need to knit and grit stuff? So
yeah. Ken collects in the house. How we doing? Okay, we got a special message here from Nerd. Go ahead, Nerd.
Oh God.
Buzz off, you rot of the hut looking mofo. That's for Muff.
There we go. He had to join in there. He has like put me up to the microphone. I gotta trash talk Muff a little.
All
bit
I'm gonna
here.
say is you ain't even in the club. You hating outside the club, bro.
Damn.
How can you hate from outside the club, bro?
Mariana says she says she doesn't like it one bit, and plus some of the extreme fans of Andor are absolute jerks. Yeah.
Yeah,
There are
it
also
goes
some
on both
haters.
sides though, you know.
It can, yeah, for sure.
I mean,
and that's
as we saw.
yeah.
You know?
I mean, we experienced that Muff in the live stream when we were Commander Jesse. We were sitting there watching it, and these people are just popping in the chat, shills, and just calling us all these different names and stuff, and it got personal. And I was like, "What are we doing? Like, we're just
a
like,
little bit.
yeah,
We weren't even enjoying it.
no,
That's the thing, bro. It's like there was the last comments were like 10 minutes before we finished.
Yeah.
And it was just like, bro, like if you had stayed in here, I'm pretty sure 85% of people that were saying all that shit would have agreed with it. They were like, "Oh, you guys aren't losers." Like, ugh.
right, yeah. Mariana says also I miss the adventure feeling like from Mando seasons 1 and 2, Ahsoka and Skeleton Crew. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying, bro. Is it's kind of bad if the Goonies sidetrack show has more engagement and action. I mean, at least for me, like I can understand where people come from, where they're like the scenery and the music and that kind of stuff is. I'll give it to you, it's great. But it's like I'm not tuning into a show about the guy who ends up helping to blow up the Death Star.
right.
To sit there and listen to a political debate that's not even, like, because to be honest with you, like everybody's like, oh, the characters are really developing and doing this stuff, and it's like I couldn't fucking tell you who's developed and how they've developed.
Yeah.
And part of that might just be because I'm so like literally we had it up here and I'm like scrolling eBay because I'm so bored.
Yeah. Yep. Guys, we got a celebrity in the house here, Mr.
Ooh.
Pop the
Oh,
Bounty Collector.
Ricky.
What's up,
boy.
Pop? How you doing? What are you up to this fine evening? Ken Collect says Andor is a masterpiece on its own spectrum of the Star Wars universe.
Interesting.
Fair, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
I'll give
Yeah.
it to you there.
It definitely has its merits. It's a very well written show, honestly, and the production value is definitely there. Just
I
some
think
frustrating elements.
I think the main thing about it is just it's the wrong place, wrong time kind of situation. Where
Right.
it is a good show. It's shot very well. The effects are done. The acting's great. The writing's amazing. We're not gonna say it's not, but it's like it kind of sucks when you hear they spent $700 million on this project.
Right.
$300 million on the Acolyte. So whatever on this project, and then Obi-Wan gets like 90 something.
Yeah.
So it's just
And
like
see-
it's more
Oh,
like
yeah.
I think that's what the problem ultimately is. It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
if this would have been like something else at the right time, I think more people would have just been like, it's just another Star Wars project. Versus now
Yeah.
it's like F this because of that kind of
Well,
situation.
And here's the point too that I'd like to make is like we're getting this kind of show while we're already at like a lot of people are just at their wits fucking end with Star Wars. Like I have friends who've loved Star Wars growing up their whole life and they don't watch anything now. And it's like, I understand if we want to go off on this tangent and make like a cinematic show and make this cool stuff for people who are into that. Cool, but like maybe let's do that once we've repaired all the bullshit we've broken down.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You just oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
No, because as I was telling you guys a while back, because if you really think about it, it's just like what's his name was saying, how Andor is a masterpiece on its own spectrum. Because it's just like what I said before, because Star Wars, there's many different types of storytelling. If you kind of think about it, it's like it's breaking up. You have Rebels, you have Jedi, which that's really the most controversy that we've been seeing right now is that storyline, and you have Bounty Hunter, which is the Mandalore and everything else. I felt like with Andor. As far as with me, I'm not gonna say it's not Star Wars though, but it's just like what he says. That is a spectrum too. So it's only designed for that type of storytelling for certain people,
Yeah, for sure. Star Wars Nerd said he finally finished the 3 episodes today, and it was such a drag. Says took me all day to finish 3 hours worth of TV. I'm still gonna give it a chance, but I'm kind of checked out.
Well, is that because of his computer issues or because like it just took him all day to watch it? 'Cause it's not that long.
Dang. We got Victoria in the house. How's it going,
Vic.
Victoria? Good to see you.
Howdy.
We love
Thanks for
it.
joining. Yeah, absolutely. She's always in the fun, the chats on whatnot and stuff, especially
Yeah.
on BP streams. I see her all the time. So, yeah. I guess I never thought of it that way. Like for me, it's not my brand of Star Wars, but it is a brand of Star Wars for somebody else that they might enjoy.
Right, and it's like nobody's gonna sit on here and be like, "Oh, Jedi Adventures was a fucking terrible Star Wars. Like it's awful. It's the worst thing they've ever created," because we know it's a kids show,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So like my thing is like they're pushing us this show and they're like it's action packed, it's adventure, and it's like when
Right.
we're halfway through the fucking season,
Yeah.
and the best action we got was
Yeah.
Cassian
First 5
Andor doing a DUI in a prototype TIE fighter.
And that
Like-
that could explain a lot too. Like expectations were different from reality,
Yeah.
right? If they would have set it up as like, hey, this is a really great politically driven type show on the Star Wars spectrum, okay, then like for me, I'm going with expectations like, okay, this is probably for me, this is gonna be boring. I'm not gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna watch it, but I'm probably not gonna relate to it on any level.
Hey, we got 3 single shot pew pew scenes, like 1,
That's
2,
it.
one episode. And
Yep.
you know what? If you kind of think about it too, because here's I knew exactly this show was gonna like, okay, this is gonna be really boring. Because
Mo?
with these dialogue scenes, like even the first 2 episodes, he was on an island. What's really what happened? Like, what's the whole purpose of that? He was
Right.
stuck on the island for like first 2 episodes, and that's just it. Then you had one dialogue saying that it was like some political talk. I forgot what it was. Then just Mon Moth dancing at a wedding for like 2 episodes, and I'm like,
Yeah, like
That lost me.
we cut back to her dancing. I want to say the same amount of times that they cut to Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. Like it's like we get it.
Right.
I mean,
We get it.
No,
She's
but-
cooked.
Right.
She's cooked and she's dancing.
Right.
We got it.
I
And
actually
just
really
in case
enjoyed
you
that
didn't
scene. It was
understand
well
for the
done.
10th time.
Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, yeah, she's still drunk.
Yeah. Victoria says, I hate to say it, but it was kind of boring for me.
It's fair.
Yeah.
No, don't be hateful saying it. No, you're
No.
doing one.
No. And that's
I-
something too. I told you guys this in the chat today, but like I want to be able to foster a podcast like this with all of us where we can talk about it, have differing opinions, but still like, all right, shake hands, let's
Yeah.
go. You know,
Oh,
like
yeah, for sure.
because
No,
like,
drop the address in the DMs. I'll see you later.
but no, like like Muff and I experienced and Commander Jesse on that live stream. Like that kind of stuff. Like in my opinion, has no place here. So.
Mhm. Yeah.
Let's see. DB says can't argue is another 2.5 episodes of Andor as a prisoner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Drunky Mothma was the highlight episode 3.
Nah,
It
dude,
was
episode 3 highlight
actually.
was the shooting from the TIE fighter, bro. For me,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that was just so dope. Like,
Yeah,
and it's a prototype.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
My thing about Andor is it's just why to
Mm.
me. It's
Yep.
And I made that
my
point.
thing. Yeah, it's
I
just
made that point.
why and who
You know,
cares.
that's
And
the
I'm not
thing.
trying to, and I'm not trying to be a hater like that because I do enjoy the show. Like, and I was telling my chat earlier when I was streaming, like I just have to let myself know, like this is not the Star Wars I expect to see, and it's like I kind of have to put myself in a mindset to watch it, and then all of a sudden it just doesn't become boring. It's just like a thing happening. I don't know how to really explain it. But I
Right.
just don't understand why. Like
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
are we getting at here?
Yeah.
We
Ken
know what
Click-
happens. We know where this goes.
Right.
Yeah.
Ken Click says the intricate storytelling, exploring themes such as authoritarianism, sacrifice, and the moral complexities of resistance is where the show hits for me. And I can understand that. And I think it goes back to like Battle Packs, you said it, Muff, you talked about a little bit too, is the expectations, right? It was set up as an action-packed, like super like guys, this is you thought Andor season 1 was boring, great, like this is going to be intense, high flying, it's going to be action packed, and we get in here and we're like, where's the action? You know what I mean? Like I don't see it. And so
I
ahead.
think part of it is they have a great story that they want to tell. Unfortunately, I think audiences have come to expect from the get-go it needs to be action. The middle can be a little boring, and then the rest has to be nonstop action.
Well,
And that's not what the show is. It is technically a slow burner. And that's, I think, what it was meant to be when it was supposed to be 5 seasons. It was going to be a slow political drama.
It's
I'm
5
now he's-
seasons.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was-
like
it was-
I'm cool
yeah.
with 5
It-
seasons of that, but it's like they've also set themselves up for
There's
that
so-
because
there's-
every other
Yeah.
project we get, it's like first 2 episodes are great, middle episodes are kind of mid, and then oh shit, this person dies, like literally verbatim.
Wait, so
every
for
other show
sure
we
we're
got.
getting 5 seasons.
No.
no,
They-
they were
that's-
supposed to be 5 seasons, but they're
They
not
took
doing it. That's
5
why
and
they're
they
doing
went-
3 episodes is 1 year, and they
And
keep jumping like that.
Right.
No,
And
I don't
that's
see
what-
them doing 5 seasons. anymore.
No.
Just-
I'd like
no,
to
they
go
couldn't.
back to what Ken was saying with the intricate storytelling, like and all that stuff. I can see that there's that kind of stuff in other Star Wars that it's done the storytelling well too with action. But
Right.
for me, where I get lost is like we're doing all of that, and then it's like let's cut here, and you're like, okay, hold on, like where the fuck
I-
are we now?
Right.
I think the problem is they have so many characters and stories that they were setting up for a 5 season show
Yeah.
that for this entire show season so far, Andor has done nothing himself. Everything is Mon Mothma, the guy that collects all the antiques. I'm
Luthen.
forgetting his
Luthen.
Luthen. Everyone's doing everything exciting except Andor. He
Right,
got a little bit of excitement with the TIE fighter, and now he's stuck babysitting Bix. And
right.
if you had
Shout out
5
Bix.
seasons, sure, you could explore that storyline. They don't have that luxury,
No.
and they're not prioritizing the storyline properly.
And
I think the last. Oh, go ahead. My
Oh,
bad.
Andy.
I think the way that they're kind of condensing it, they cut out those details that were missing.
Yeah.
right?
Maybe, yeah, probably.
Keep going,
But
Andy.
I was gonna say the last 3 episodes were actually very good, especially the last one. I was on the edge of my seat when they're robbing the transport. I was like, this is gonna be good. Someone's gonna die. Sure enough, someone died. It was very well done. My problem was afterwards was everything exciting was everyone else. Andor, the character that I came to see, did nothing except what do I do? I want to stay with my girlfriend. That's where I had an issue. I was like, I came for Andor. He's not doing anything. Now, granted, my brother believes that this last 6 episodes will be good. They had to set up his motivations, why he's conflicted, and then the rest will be him. People are going to start dropping because they have only 6 episodes left.
You think with this show, can this be like easy skip of just knowing of Star Wars story itself? Can you like not have to watch Andor just to understand the political atmosphere and everything? Because like I said, I'm all for political, and I love how they done with the prequels as well. It was so vivid, and it really relates so much to this time. But it's like with Andor itself, is it like something that you can really just skip over? You don't have to really understand the Empire, that you could just like watch other?
I would say
yeah.
Yes, because, and I made this, Gazer and Jesse can contest this point, is my big gripe with the series, right, is we're investing all this money in a character that we've already seen die on screen, right? First off.
Yeah.
It's not a big, huge, massive character, right? You know, like if they were making like a Jyn Erso show, maybe more people be, you know, inclined to watch that, or Galen Erso. I think you could achieve the same thing revisiting Galen Erso's life and the struggles and the affair, you know, like Ken was saying, that would have been way better executed with him as this. You know, we see Cashin come into Rogue One as such a badass, and I just haven't seen it yet. You know, he's kind of looked like, I mean, like Cyril's got more nuts than him. So
Yeah,
you know, and going back to what you're saying about the train scene being cool and stuff, I can agree in some aspects of that, but I also feel like since we've condensed this showdown, they're like, okay, Bell or what's her face, they got to die. So let's create a scene where they do that. And we saw it coming. Like, I mean, everybody, we were sitting in that live watch party where it's like, I literally, like when they started struggling, I'm like, all right, somebody's dead. Like,
well, I'm pretty sure most of the majority of characters, I know Bix is going to die. Her, Luther, and those.
Well, they all have to die.
Yeah,
they're not there anymore in Rogue One. So it's like, we're setting all of this stuff up, and like I said, we're setting all this political stuff up, which we could do with Galen Erso, which is a big character, big character. And instead, we've created this kind of like side quest narrative, you know.
That's what I thought Andor was going to be about. I thought Andor was going to be the prequel of Rogue One, as in like the whole conflict between Galen and Krennic, and the moment Galen decided, okay, well, fuck these guys, screw these guys, I'm going to put a way to like destroy this thing. Like, and I thought it was going to be that. I didn't know it was going to be
more actual
subplot of a subplot of a subplot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think with them showing them building the Death Star essentially at the jail scenes last season, I was like, okay, cool. Maybe we're gonna get Galen Erso, and then the political stuff there of him being like, oh shit, like I'm now responsible for this massive destructive killing machine, and him kind of coping with and coming to grips with the fact that like he's got to sacrifice himself for the greater good rather than all these random sprinkled characters.
Right. Yeah. Star Wars Nerd says, I'd like to see Galen Erso working on the Death Star leading up to him leaving and opening in the opening of Rogue One. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what BP was just talking about.
Yep. I'm right with you.
DB says, I never really understood the making of show about a guy who dies. Now a show about the entire Rebel Alliance forming and doing things would be better. This season is more of just that, kind of. And then he also says, I want to know where's Leia, Fulcrum, Callus, Ghost Crew. They are all part of the big picture.
I mean, Quinlan's still alive at this point, you know, like we've got big characters that are alive that seemingly are part of this Rebel Alliance that we're building, but we're not seeing any of this. Fiance's in here. We're not seeing any of this kind of like alliance building either, right? It's just kind of like this sneaky, murky side of these things with this, you know, with Luthen. And like, granted, I like it, but it's like this show had the potential, and I'd be very interested in a 5-season show where we get 2.5 seasons of let's build the alliance, let's do all this trickery and sneakery, and then we transition to the Empire's side of things.
I might as well watch Rebels at that point, honestly. Man, Justin, what do you think, man? You're all quiet over there.
Yeah,
man. All right. So I was gonna do reactions to Andor. So Like I got back from Japan and that, and I was filming my reaction. I'm going to share my screen here. This is genuinely what happened whilst I was filming said reaction.
Okay.
Computer fell asleep.
Can you please add that in?
Yep.
no.
Oh shoot.
That is genuinely what happened. So I watched the whole first episode. First episode, and I
dang.
woke up and it was the start of the third episode. It put me to fucking sleep.
Yeah. And
I'm
Commander
sorry.
Jesse, I feel that with you. I have never ever wanted to or been even like tempted to sleep during Star Wars. These last 3 episodes, I was struggling to stay awake. Like, and that's coming from like having you and Muff in the thing with me, right? Like you never falls. I was like,
Stay
oh my
awake,
Lord.
young man.
I know, that's why I needed Bantha there. But no, dude, like I was like, this is insane, man. Like,
yeah, it's just like sure, like cinematography's good, writing's good, and all that, but like it's not what makes Star Wars at the end of the day.
Right.
And it's not just it's not just me. Like a lot of people are saying this. I don't know if it's the adventure or if it's, it doesn't have to have, the Force or lightsabers, even though that is, central to Star Wars. It doesn't have to have that. And like we spoke about it in the stream the other day, obviously there's like a slow burn here.
Right.
But the payoff isn't there either, because we were talking about it in the stream. Like I brought up Ozark. I don't know if Josiah, Andy, or Battle Packs, you've seen Ozark, the show on Netflix. Really, really good.
Jesse made up.
It is amazing. It is one of my favorite shows on Netflix. It's got Jason Bateman and that in it. But it is amazing. But it's a really slow burn. But when things happen, and like the payoff is there. So it's not like people aren't like, have short attention spans or, can't cope with the slow writing, but the payoff isn't there in this either, I don't think. Like Josiah said, what did you say? There was 3 blaster bolts that went off, and that was basically in one episode.
Like, pew, pew.
And it was like with the Saw
Oh.
Gerrera bit, like we see the setup and everything, we don't see what happens. Like there's no payoff there at all.
It's just little teasers here and there.
Yeah.
Oh, let's throw Saw in this show. Let's get some action in here.
He
and then
carried
it's just
that
like,
episode as well.
And then it's like, oh, homie,
good.
just passed the fuck out. And
Does anyone have word on the cereal and Dedra shit?
No, because they decided not to show us that scene, but then show us what Bix went through.
Okay.
Connor Williams, thank you for being in here, by the way. See, this is what we want. We want different opinions so we can talk about this. It says Andor is telling its own story. It has a clear trajectory and it knows what it wants to tell. Leave those other stories for future projects. Otherwise, Andor will collapse under its own weight.
Just like what Tony Gilroy said, I think if he did like somebody asked or at least asked him this, was it going to be Darth Vader and all that and that? And I think he was like, no, it was like more of his own story basically. And I think at that point, I think that's where that kind of turned off a lot of people because, we saw Rogue One, we see Darth Vader, and then we see Krennic and everything else. But of course, we saw Krennic and Andor. But it was like we want some sort of build up like that. So what's Vader doing all this entire time? And it's just, I will say that this is one of the shows. If people want to call this masterpiece, I'll fine though. But with this type of storytelling, fine it is. But it's like with Disney, when it comes to storytelling, how you really bring about its audience and bring everybody in is when you bring back legacy characters. And that's just with me with Rogue One, that's what he did it so perfectly. Of course, we didn't get the entire scenes of Darth Vader and everything else, but just how he was mingled throughout the whole story, how he was just like behind the scene. That's just what made it good. Whereas this one is like it's just entirely different new, and I think that's what a lot of people tune out after that interview. If you ask me, it's just like, Ken Collect says, "Didn't we watch Vader die, and then we watched, and then we got his development in the prequels? This is just the same in a small scale with smaller character, or am I missing something?"
It's not though.
It's not.
It's not. Like,
You don't think so?
We can't we're comparing Anakin's story to whatever this fucking wet hot garbage we're getting is.
Well, Anakin's story is Star Wars.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like in this story, I'm like, I understand. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Ken. It's a great opinion, right? I'm just I'm a troll. But in the development of Anakin's story, we get the entire envelopment of the Star Wars trilogy. Like everything gets developed.
No Anakin, no
all these
Dustin.
older people hate it.
Right.
A lot of people
Right.
hate it too. I'll never understand that.
And for me, this is like, yeah, I mean, there is some parallel there, but it's in like the tiniest microscopic vacuum you could have pigeonholed it into.
With
Because they
Anakin, you
can't go
have
anywhere
to go
else.
back.
Yeah.
With Anakin, you have to go back. Cassing, you don't have to go back.
Like we said, there's other characters that we could have made this show about that you couldn't have made Vader about.
Right.
We can make Vader's prehistory about Watto.
Yeah.
You know, like
Commander Jesse, do you want to add?
Yeah, just what Ben said. I wasn't saying we need Ozark in style. I was just comparing the writing styles because they're both quite slow, but there's a payoff in Ozark compared to they're not.
Massive payoff.
I'm not saying Ozark in
Massive
Star Wars. No, no, we don't need the Spice Runners in Star Wars.
You know what, Jesse? I'm with it. Fanfic, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
But don't you think that there may be payoff later in the season since it is the last season?
There could be.
Still have 6 episodes.
We can't really judge it fully yet.
I can't judge it fully, but I mean, I went into 4, 5, and 6 like, all right, we're gonna start seeing the retaliation from the Empire. We're gonna start seeing people having to make sacrifices, this, that, and the other. Which now I'm really hoping we get in the next 3, or it's gonna be a really.
This show is
ending.
half over already. In 2 weeks, it's half over.
Because for me, that kind of retaliatory and like persecution of the Empire and realizing like people, it seems like most people outside of this group are like, oh, you know, Empire life's okay, blah, 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 blah. But these guys are like, nah, like it's going to get really bad. Those last 3 episodes for me, development wise, in the fact that this is the last season, needed to be where we started to see some of that like savagery and oppression. Because if not, what are we just going to get at the end? It's going to be like Krennic's being like, kill them all.
Yeah.
And then cut, you know?
I guess in my head too, each arc we're getting is basically a movie itself. Like, you know, you're getting 2.5 hours of content each week. So in my head, because they're a year apart as well, whereas if with season 1, you know, it's all one big thing. So, you know, you can argue there the payoff can be towards the end. Yeah. But with this one, you're getting each 3-episode arc is a year apart. So in my head, there should be payoff each week, like build up over the first 2 episodes, and then, you know, there should be payoff there each week.
That's true. Yeah. Very true. It should feel like adventure of the week. You're right.
Yeah.
It kind of has to at this point because I mean, if it's going to keep doing what it just did with the last 3 episodes, I'm just
many people are checked out.
So we'll give you an indicator what the rest of the season will look like.
I'm gonna start streaming on Twitch if the next 3 episodes are bad. You're gonna see me just with my mic muted, you know.
Connor says, I think we are so eager for all these Legacy, Rebels, and Clone Wars characters to appear because Tony Gilroy treats these characters with respect. They don't infantilize them or dumb them down. Real Ben says also Ozark is amazing, but do we need Ozark in Star Wars? For me, no.
Yeah, that's what I was answering.
We need Ozark and we need it now. More Banthas.
Yeah, Tony said Vader was too heavy of a character to write. Which respect, if he's not up for it, good for him to realize that, like, hey, I don't think I can handle this. Like, I'm not gonna try. Like, good on him.
Yeah.
Connor says, I think the discourse around Andor is bogged down with discussions about the overall franchise health. If Disney's output was consistently good, then Andor would be judged solely on its own merits. Right. Agreed. And that's what we're trying to do here is talk about Andor as a show on its own. However, if a show is good or bad, there's always something it stems from, right? It's the show isn't the root cause. There's a root cause that the show is bad. What's that root cause, right? So there's a both and that we have to discuss.
Right, and like I was alluding to, I think if this show comes out in a healthier time, I don't think we sit here and we talk shit about it as much as we do. We're just kind of like, yeah, it was a cinematically good show, you know,
right.
Positive points. But the fact it's like we're dumping all this money into this show and they can't figure out whether they want to do 1 or 5 seasons. It's the typical over and over and over and over. It's like, take $700 million, give us Old Republic. And, you know.
And it's also insulting if you kind of think about it, because you got Obi-Wan show. They only did like 6 episodes or whatnot. And insane. I still think, because look, people have mixed feelings about the show, but if you like me, with me, for example, Obi-Wan, I would say, is one of the best Disney Plus shows. If you ask me, and I think they really deserve a second
Interesting.
season.
Yeah.
I do too.
There's that, and so it's just hard. Like when they make shows like this, but they're gonna dump all these legacy characters type show, and they're just gonna focus all on that. That's just what bothers me. Like look what they did with Mandalorian. How they still like how many took episodes of the book Boba Fett? Like 2 episodes, I think.
Like 2 or 3 episodes,
basically.
Yeah.
That's just, it makes no sense to me. I was like, why is it that we're putting so much on this, and then we're just gonna lackluster and bastard by it?
Right.
Because
Like, I
the
think
new
Andy
Revenge
was-
of the Sith would have paid for it all. They said,
Yeah.
Like I think
Dude.
Andy was saying, like, we're not getting Andor. This is Andor's show. We're not getting Andor. I think
Yeah.
that's one of
They
the
love
points
doing
that
that.
frustrates me too, because it's like I can get behind like Andor's a badass character, but we're not getting Andor. We're getting
because they're
all these
forcing
other
that
dudes.
that cinematic universe shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
They're
like
trying to build
everyone,
that up.
yeah.
Pop.
Like
welcome.
everybody's a hero now,
Well, everyone's involved in everyone's side quest. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's up, Pop? How you doing?
Howdy.
Oh, I can't hear him. Oh no,
Oh.
we can't hear him.
Can you guys
Rookie.
hear me?
Now we can hear
Now
him.
we get it.
So you guys are talking about my favorite show.
We're
Nah,
trying to do it
Acolytes-
respectfully, Pop. We're trying to do it respectfully.
Acolytes next week, bro.
So okay, so here's my opinion on Andor. And I'm gonna just throw this out there. The last 3 episodes I actually enjoyed.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
Same.
the first
Same.
3 seasons, I mean, the first season was a killer. It was really tough to get through, but I
Yeah.
watched it because it was Star Wars. It was a project.
Yeah.
I wanted
Right.
to give my opinion, and then I just watched it once. When season 2 came out, I was not gonna be like everybody else and watch season 1 all over again. I watched the recap. I
Yep.
watched the
Yeah, we
recap
did.
to remind
Yep.
me.
Yeah.
The first 3 episodes were tough. Like episode 2, I was like, why? But see, now I think we're gonna get to the good part, because and I want to go with what Diego Luna said in Celebration panel. Once you finish watching Andor season 2, Rogue One's gonna be different. And so if you remember Rogue One, Cassian Andor, excuse my language, is an asshole.
Yeah.
He's an asshole. So
Because
now
Bix-
what I
Bix
look at
dies.
now, I'm looking at him in the relationship with Bix and how protective he is, but then now he has to make a decision, or she needs to make a decision. We know something's gonna happen to Bix.
Right.
The
Right.
other thing is either she ends up like in a suicide mission, which affects him, or it might be a situation where he needs to kill her
Or
because
he's
he's gonna blow the
responsible for her
mission,
dying.
and he might have to
Oh
do
my
something that
goodness.
he doesn't want to do, and then now that just changes his whole persona. You talk about a person that has no more heart. That's the reason why he's the way he is in Rogue One until towards the end.
Fair.
So
Yeah.
maybe
I
he's
mean-
gonna start getting a little bit better. I get it. It's a lot of those talks. It would have been dope. I understand that there's certain directors and people that they don't want to put like big characters into the show because they don't want that to be all it is. It would have been dope to see kind of Palpatine talk a little
Mm.
bit,
Feels that Senate
all-
scene.
and even in the background, we don't even need him there. But imagine when she's having a discussion,
Yeah.
she hears Palps.
Yeah.
That would have been dope.
Yeah.
Or just drop the name Vader. Like, Lord Vader's coming or something. You'd be like, ooh, let's go.
Yeah.
It
Right.
would have
Yeah.
been kind of dope, but I get it. It's not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, we just gotta respect everybody's decision. This really reminds me of the EU back in the days when everybody started reading all the EU books and talking about Revan and talking about all these other characters, and we're looking at them like, yo, this is not the OT. They ain't Darth Vader. But it is kind of like this right now with Andor. It's not the prequels because I'm a prequels guy. So Andor is not prequels, even though it is a little bit
Right.
after, obviously, with Vader. But I mean, it's all right. Last 3 episodes were okay. Hopefully, it gets better. I'm gonna watch it until the last episode,
Mm.
and whatever. It's Star
Yeah,
Wars.
No, that theory's awesome, man. Just how you're saying
Yeah.
that what if he has to kill Bix or something, like if some mercy killing? Okay, that would be like a whole.
Yeah.
that'd be
That
cool.
would be the payoff that we're talking about. But at
Yeah.
the same time,
Yeah.
it's
Whoa.
like we got to
I
take
would redeem it.
we got to take
Yeah.
9 episodes to do that.
Yeah.
Well, the thing I think what's his name? BP talked about it. The amount of money that's going into the show and the amount of episodes. Damn, we didn't even get this amount episodes for Ahsoka,
Right.
and Ahsoka was dope.
And
Yeah.
And I'm
Obi-Wan.
like, where's the budget for Ahsoka? Where is the money for Obi-Wan? Like, how you
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
do Ewan and Hayden like that, bro?
Yeah.
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 Ewan and Hayden that created that fan base of Star Wars fans that's spending the money on hot
Yeah.
toys and going to Celebration and buying all the merch and all that stuff.
Yeah.
How you
$1 million
gonna do that
box
for them?
office, man.
Yep. Let's go through some of the chats here real quick, because a lot of them are kind of saying some of the things that you guys are saying. Says, from what I've heard, the critics the third arc is the best, and multiple reviewers have said episodes 7 through 12 is constant build. And he means there's
about
considerable
time.
momentum and payoff. I mean,
About
yeah,
time.
yeah.
I mean, I would hope it has build up where it's the final season of the show.
Right. Real Ben Maynard says, here's the thing. Everyone tries to go anti-nostalgia. Anti-nostalgia is a lazy argument. If nostalgic characters were used correctly, we would never have that argument. It's a weak defense of a boring show that is Andor.
Yep.
Very,
very, very true point there.
Yep. Let's see.
Hey, Closet.
This feels so
What's up, buddy?
I love the show, but I lose
What's up,
it
boys?
entirely. Yeah, I love that. He's Ayo Pop, what's up, man? Didn't expect to find you here, but lo and behold, there you are. Connor says, I agree with you about the allocation of budget. In my view, the money spent on Andor was well spent, but it shouldn't have a bigger budget than Kenobi. This is poor management.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not seeing 700 million right now.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Like, where is that money going? And that's the constant that we're talking about. You know, look at the Acolyte, look at Obi-Wan, I'll be real with you. I saw the value in Obi-Wan. I saw the absolute value in Mando. But like, where the hell is 700 million in this show?
Yeah.
In the TIE Fighter?
Right. Yeah.
Did they actually build it?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like a 3-hour movie, a 2-hour movie cost them like what, almost $300 million, and we're getting a 12-hour movie. So like the numbers make sense.
I mean,
it's just I don't know what
I'm talking like bang for your buck value. You know,
but,
like
and Real Ben says, you know, it's so disrespectful to a legacy character like Kenobi getting such a low budget, but then a side character from a side movie getting so much cash make make sense.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
If I
that's
can
the
speak
thing.
to that.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
You first.
I'll go.
You first, man.
Well, my point would just be like, I get where that point is, because it's like we don't just have the one character. We don't just have to pay Andor. We've got to pay Bix. We got to pay Cyril. We got to pay Deidre. We got to pay Krennic. You know, that's where I think the money is in that. But at the same time, it's like we don't need all of those characters to have a massive role as they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Andy, were you saying something now?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Andy.
I can't speak for why Andor costs so much money, but I think for Kathleen Kennedy or Lucasfilm, I think part of it is, as a creator, I have a comic project that I'm working on that I'm very excited for personally, but a lot of my audience is not that excited about. They're like, oh, it's okay. I'm more interested in these other characters from other stories you have. And I realized that even though the audience isn't really invested in this other story that I'm personally excited for, I'm going to put everything I have into what excites me. Now, granted, Lucasfilm, they have a much bigger responsibility. They have to appease a global audience, and they can switch things up. But I do understand that if this is Kathleen Kennedy's pet project, then of course it's going to get the most attention, because this is what she thinks. At least during the first season, they thought they had a hit. Like they really thought they had a hit. Didn't work out, and they said, you know what? We can't give you the 5 seasons, but we want to make sure this is still getting our full attention. Give it the budget you need. And they're not doing the greatest job with it. But I think that's maybe why it's getting such attention and push from Lucasfilm.
We need more marketing than we are with storytelling and creativity. That's just where it's just everything just falls short.
It's
Because,
reality.
you know, it's all about really authenticity as well. And we're just like not seeing that with Acolyte and all these other shows that we're getting now. That's why when it comes to legacy characters, when you make movies or shows like this, you can't really much bastardize it at all. You have to really take care of it, but even just the itty bits of it though, because it's just so important, you know. Whereas with Andor though, because it's a new storytelling, it gives them a little more of a not much of a pushback and more of a heat they have to worry about because this is like a new storytelling and it's never been told before. Something like the Skeleton Crew, for example, a story like that has never been told before. So it's easy for them to like make storytellings like this. But when it comes to legacy characters, it seems like they're just screwing it up.
Yeah. DB says, I also have an issue with Tony Gilroy, I'm assuming, saying he doesn't want it to feel like Star Wars. Then why make a Star Wars show?
Right. Like that's my thing is like we've got these writers who are almost anti-Star Wars making projects for Star Wars fans.
Right.
Like as soon as I hear that a director goes on a TV show or a morning show and they're like, yeah, I mean Star Wars is cool, but this is what I want to like. No, fuck you, I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
I think it comes from writers and directors that want to make their own show or story, and no one will buy their script, so they latch on to a popular IP,
ruin it,
and they don't care about that IP. They just get a chance to put their script into this popular universe, so then everyone has to see it. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, then why not just make a separate department and division within the IP and let those guys do what they want to do over there? So that it's not fucking with canon and it's not ruining beloved characters. It's not ruining the IP. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm okay if people want to make, like, I mean, Visions, you know? Like, if you want to do stuff like that out of the box, I'm cool with it. But let's not be sitting here after that's come out and be like, wow, this is canon now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Tony, I got to hear what you guys say about that. That man's calling you out, man. What you got to say, man? I want to hear your feedback on that answer.
Connor says the money has gone to paying actors like Stellan Skarsgård, Forrest Whitaker, Ben Mendelsohn. They shot on location in Valencia and London, which is expensive. They built a composite Gorman set. Also the VFX, they had to pay hundreds of VFX artists to render all the environments in post-production rather than in volume. Also, episodes are like 45 to 55 minutes long, not shorter episodes. Closet, I'd be interested as we're reading through this, since you popped on here, we haven't had a chance to ask you, but like, what are your overall thoughts? And welcome.
What up? So I've gotten a little nervous because I've taken so much heat over all my thoughts now. So,
don't worry, Nerd's not here.
Thank God, dude. Thank. I started talking, so he'll show up. Yeah. I like the show. I don't know what all's been spoken on so far, so I don't want to repeat anything. I like the show. I just think that, and this is going to sound weird, and I know I'm going to catch heat, and my anxiety's ramping up. But
you're safe, man. You're safe here.
Thank God. Okay, I'm in the closet.
Not from us.
So
you're nowhere safe from me.
I think the show is better without Star Wars. I think that Star Wars holds the show back, and I hate that. I think it's weird. Someone commented on my video, or maybe it was on Twitter. I have no idea, or X. I don't remember who said it. But someone said that, and I like this because it's getting my brain thinking a little more about my overall opinion of the show. Someone said that it's like they're building the scaffolding of the rebellion with Andor, as if you picture it like a building. And I get that. I like that illustration. It makes perfect sense. I just think that if I'm watching a sci-fi spy drama, I think this show is dope. I like it's so good. But I feel like they're having to shoehorn Star Wars into Andor, and it feels weird. So like, and I made this comment, but it feels like if anyone was to mention the Force on the show, you would think it's weird that they're talking about the Force.
I'd crash out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't
I'd crash out.
They don't talk. And someone on one of my comments said, yeah, well, I mean, they talk about the Emperor, so it's implied. And like, yeah, but you hear about, I mean, I was just watching Gladiator 2 the other day and they talked about the Emperor. Like the Emperor doesn't mean Force to me. It just, I know who the Emperor is, but it's just weird. I don't know. Overall, though, my thoughts are I like the show. I'm enjoying it, and I really can't wait to keep watching it. There's just a little part of me that thinks if it wasn't a Star Wars show, I'd probably like it a little bit more. And that's coming from a massive, closet Star Wars fan that loves Star Wars. So
Yeah, go back in your closet.
Do you think the show would work better if it was the French Resistance during World War II?
That's what we're kind of getting, and I alluded to it in the stream so far. Is right. So there's a movie about where they make the final decision for the final solution, right? And it kind of resembles what they were doing with the Gorman platform, where all the heads of state and all that stuff are at the table, and they're all, your department's spending this, blah, 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 blah. And then we cut to it. Now they've all got these little French caps on. They're kind of doing that, and I kind of see that too. But I don't think I'm not so sure that that's, something that I don't know. I mean, I haven't really formulated my opinion completely on that kind of aspect of it. I was thinking about maybe doing that once the season's over to see kind of where that arc goes.
Yeah.
But I do see that tie-in, and I'm not sure whether it's intentional or not.
Yeah. DB says, I get the idea of building scaffolding, but who wants to watch a show about building scaffolding? Great analogy, though. I mean, there are some people, right? Like Andy's brother Reed, he loves it. I mean, he is just gung-ho for it, which, again, I think it comes down to two things. And we talked about this at the beginning. Expectations, right? I think the expectations were set that the show was going to be action-packed and really good, right?
Right.
We're not getting the action, right? And also, like, if they would have set it up as, hey, this isn't an action-packed. This is a very politically motivated show, and it's meant to be serious to show you the foundation of the rebellion. Okay, I can get that. Like, my mind expectations are a little bit different. But for some people, it's great. Ben says it's a serious show with a Star Wars skin. That's it. And that kind of alludes to your point, Closet, I think, is that it's a serious show. And if without Star Wars in it, I think it's an all right show. I think the VFX, everything that's on there is great. But when you add like the name Star Wars, there's certain things you come to expect as a Star Wars fan to see that we're just not seeing in the show, I think.
I have a quick question. Is Andy's brother younger or older?
Older.
He's
just kidding. He's younger.
He's younger. He's a couple years younger than I am.
Yeah.
Like early 20s or
early 20s, yeah.
Because
23.
Because I've noticed it's more of a generational thing. Because through the Lego stuff, I have my fan base / customer base is like 17 to 24 years old, and this is the only community that I have like full access to, and kind of like I'm there every day, and they love Andor. They cannot get enough of it. And it's usually like 27 and above the people I talk to that kind of just are lost within it. So I just want to know what type of Star Wars they understand, because I know they grew up with like Rebels. They grew up with Rogue. A lot of them watched Rogue One when they were like 9. I watched Rogue One. I think I was already like 17, 18 or something like that. So I think they just have like that. Like our childhood Star Wars is like, we get that. We better.
It's just good. It's
and
good.
Their childhood Star Wars, I think this plays on that a lot. And
I think also for my brother, like he was introduced to Star Wars through Rebels.
Exactly.
And so that was incredible. By the way, I teared up today watching Kanan's death scene. Spoilers on an Instagram reel. It's incredible. That's storytelling. But I think a lot of it is he grew up watching the shows, watched Clone Wars, which is a slow burn, but it's more action packed. I think that generation got into their minds like waiting for payoff. With the slow burn, and I think maybe that's why they enjoy Andor, because they're like, we understand Star Wars from TV show. We grew up with Star Wars the movies.
Yeah.
If it's not concluded within 2 hours, what's the point?
Yeah.
If you gotta think about it too, because here's some people, they say, oh my god, why bring up politics with this shit, because that's what people have with the prequels, because it was a little based on politics, but we still got the action and everything else. But it's like, I don't think nobody's disagreeing that maybe politics should not have a play at all. We're just saying, did they like kind of overdo it with these dialogues? It's like they're going way deeper than it is.
Exactly.
That
I hate to be that guy.
He was just thrown off on that, honestly.
Yeah, I hate to be that guy, but it's like even OT had politics,
right? 100%.
So it's like politics is part of Star Wars, and if you go and
Right.
you watch and you listen to George talk about how he wrote this
100%
trilogy,
yeah,
you can't escape the politics of it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was written in a political era. It's
Right.
written politically in some aspects, and then we've also got this kind of like fandom and childhood and like kind of like kids theming to it.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's not supposed to be, and I think that's the problem is people haven't realized is it's not in your face politics too.
Right.
Now it is.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel like the show should be called Luthen or Mothra,
Right.
Then Andor.
Mothma's Bender.
Yeah, because so I talked about this the other day with
Mothma at
Ken, and I'm like, is this show not trying to say that Star Wars fans are dumb, but I'm like, is this show a little bit too intelligent for Star Wars fans? And the reason why I say that, because if you look at the movie, the OT, even the prequels and the dialect and the movie, like, it's not that much talking. It's talking, but to the point, and then we're getting some action. And then if you look at Rogue One wasn't a little bit too much talking. Maybe Saw Gerrera a little bit in the movie, but it was Cassian was all about the movement and action. So when you already built that with that character, and now we're calling the show Andor, that's what we're expecting from him. But we're getting all these other side characters that are becoming like now main characters, especially Luthen, right? And it's a lot of talking. A lot of talking, a lot of jibber jabber, and I'm like, I get it. You got to explain stuff, but we already get it. We already we're building a rebellion, so we don't need too much.
Right.
We don't need too much. We know the outcome.
Yeah.
So it's just like we're just looking for key moments, and then where's Urso at? I mean, I guess we're gonna get him, but I'm like, that's what I want to see, him building that stuff, and maybe we do get Tarkin, and maybe we do get Lord Vader's coming to check things out, and I don't know, maybe that's gonna happen. Maybe the next half is gonna change our mind, but right now is I think the boring part for us is just not enough action, too much talking, and we already know the point. Get to the
yeah.
Because that goes back to because George was really big on movies being like a visual story, and that's always like he cop flack for the dialogue, whatever. But I'm sure you guys have seen the interview. But there's a bit where Mark Hamill was saying, because Mark Hamill really liked to learn from George too, and that the entrance scene at the start of A New Hope where Vader walks through, obviously that's the first time he's seen, and so Mark was asking George, why don't we have someone say, oh my god, it's Darth Vader, the Dark Lord of the Sith, so people know who it is. And George's like, no, they'll know, big black character contrasting onto white stormtroopers, they'll know who he is. So George trusted the viewer too. Whereas we grew up on that sort of storytelling, and now we're getting yap.
Yeah. Ben, real Ben Maynard brings up a good point. A lot of people were throwing around the word spy thriller. To me, when I hear that, I think James Bond. I think action-packed, not slow down.
I think
I get that.
This, in terms of, I wouldn't say spy thriller, but this kind of parallels if you were to make a movie like we were saying about the French Resistance. And I get that in the aspect of that too, but it's like even that would have been more action-packed from the get-go because there's inner pieces, they're moving and stuff like that. And echoing back to where we were talking about the Clone Wars and Rebels and having to wait. Yeah, but they did it in a way where we could enjoy it, right? Whereas this one's just been a little bit too slow of a burn. And I feel personally, it's just my opinion, there hasn't been enough key development in the key players.
Yeah,
like because you're saying like the people or aspects are keep continuing to go. Luthen hasn't changed. I mean, maybe he's become a little bit more emotional, but like Luthen hasn't really developed. They just killed off Vel's girlfriend. Vel's developing, I guess, based off of that. The only development we've had from Bix is that she's now a drug addict and she's dealing with PTSD.
Right.
So it's like, yes, there's development, yes, there's movement, but it's like we've been echoing, like we've been saying, the last 6 here, there needs to be shown some action and that empire cruelty needs to be developed. Otherwise, we're just kind of like, hey, you know, we're building this rebellion, like stuff's happened, and then boom, Rogue One, boom, everything blows up.
Yeah.
You know?
I got a couple comments here from Ben, and then something from Connor here in the chat that was interesting. I want to pull up for you guys. He says, all right, I need to toxic vent for 5 seconds. Yes, our childhood Star Wars was much better. Plain and simple. That's it. Cancel me, LOL. Early 2000s was peak.
I don't think anybody's arguing with you. I've been seeing stuff. It was like the peak generation where those of us who grew up in the 90s and 2000s were like video games were good, movies were good, shows were good, and it's just kind of, I mean, like even average movies nowadays, like I haven't seen a good horror movie in like 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
You know, guys,
go ahead.
You know what? I wanted to ask him because this is like the elephant in the room problem, and I think a lot of people were really controversial on this one. I don't know if we can like talk in similarities around it. I don't want to like, you know, out of disrespect and everything, right?
Yeah.
But I really want to ask this one to get everybody's input. But like the scene where Bix was like assaulted and whatnot, there's a lot of mixed opinions on that. Is it, well, is that necessary? We need to show that. I just need to know what people's opinions on that, because I felt like
I don't think we do need to show it, because the simple fact, one, she didn't get raped. One, she took action, and for me, you know, I pass it along to my girlfriend. It's like, bro, we want to see those strong women. We want to see that strong woman that's not gonna take, excuse my language, shit from nobody. I don't care who you are. Yeah, it happens. It happens. There's corrupted people. There's bad people in this world. But she put the hands.
I get that aspect of it, but for me, I think it could have been done a little more tastefully, right? Like he says, you know, I need to relax. He touches her. I think you could have at that point, like Anakin with the younglings, cut scenes, and then come back to her, like just like that hammer just upside the head, right? And like then he goes staggering out and falls over, right? I still think that would have like relayed that same message that she doesn't take crap from nobody. Right? Even an Imperial officer. I think that message probably would have came across the same without so much as like, because there's people that, like, I've brought this up before. There's people that watch Star Wars as an escape, right? And I'm one of them. And so I feel like that might have hurt some people a little bit who may have gone through that or are going through that, to see that again in Star Wars in a space where they want to escape. I don't know if that was the best move. Buff?
I'm kind of in the middle, because I see your point, but I also see Pop's point, right?
Yeah. And
I think there needs to be a middle ground there where you show enough of it that everybody, like even the dumb people, excuse me, like I mean, there's some people that watch stuff and they're just at the TV screen, you know? But it's like you can show enough of that to the point where it's not insanely triggering to an audience, especially when there have been no warning.
Yes.
No warning. There was no trigger warning, nothing like that. Especially with a company like Disney, who's very, I would say, on the we all know what I'm trying to say here without saying it. You know, like Disney politically in that kind of way. You would have thought there would be a warning, like, hey, there's going to be graphic scenery in this episode. There's going to be.
Does this mean we can get limbs cut off?
That's what I'm saying too. Is like we can show, you know, an R scene, but I can't get a lightsaber going through somebody. I've got to get somebody. You know, I've got to get. What was it? I was watching Ahsoka. She's slicing through all these dudes, and it's just like,
they're just falling over.
His leg got hit by a lightsaber, but he's not getting back up.
Right.
Yeah.
I think for me, I don't think it belongs to Star Wars. Again, it's for all intents and purposes, it is a family franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I think the reason they put it in there is they want to show just how bad the Empire truly is. They're like, listen, in a real world situation, this is what the Empire would do. However, problem is they're preaching to the choir. We grew up with Star Wars. We know that the Empire is bad.
Right.
We don't need to see the real thing to know how bad they are.
Right. Like show us them realizing like, oh, these people are going to start coming at us if we don't put our foot on their neck. Cool. Show me them doing that in a way where they're not, you know, taking advantage of a woman.
But the thing is, guys, we are forgetting, right? I mean, I'm wearing the shirt, bro. I mean, did he not have slave Leia? Did he not have other slaves and barely clothing, dancing for him.
Right.
I mean, that's the OT. That's right there. They had a story to tell that Jabba
Right.
is a bad guy, and
But
he uses women for slaves.
we don't see people taking advantage of them in this fashion is the argument that I would make. Like I
Yeah,
said,
but
I'm in the middle between these
Yeah,
two.
it's in the middle. I would have definitely would have put a disclaimer.
Yes,
I think
for sure.
I think it's
Yeah.
okay because I took it as a way. I mean, I have 5 sisters. I'm the only boy. I'm the only boy in the family. Right? I have 5 sisters. I have a daughter. I'm all about women empowerment, and I took it. My view is different. I took it as Biggs ain't gonna play no games. She don't care if you working for the Empire. She'll risk everything. You better not touch her. She is triggered. Do not touch her. So I took it as she's a strong woman, but I get it. People might have been into the situation. I think a disclaimer would have been perfect. Hey, just letting you know you're watching this. Something happens within this nature, so you kind of mentally prepare yourself. If you have been a victim or have been a family member that had a victim in there before, because it is sensitive. But I'm also trying to say, as a person of age, I think I'm older than everybody here in this room, right? Come on, don't forget about.
I thought you were 29.
Huh?
I thought you were 29.
I'm gonna be 43, so I'm older than all of you guys.
Ooh, okay.
And I know
bro, he got that Latin glow.
different because watching movies now, I mean, and then watching our TV programs and thinking about back then, bro, there was barely any filter. It's a lot of stuff that's crazy.
Well,
But
and I mean,
if they had a disclaimer, would have been a nice, especially you think with Disney.
yeah,
With Disney
that's what
should
I'm
have
saying.
been a disclaimer.
I think it's a little bit less graphic than what they did in Game of Thrones, but like everybody went into Game of Thrones, we knew what we're getting.
Yeah,
we knew what we're getting.
Well, that's when I because I didn't watch it when I heard the backlash, and when I heard the backlash, what I assumed happened was like a Game of Thrones style graphic, like it actually happened. And then when I watched it, I was like, "This is what everyone's crying about," kind of like situation. So I'm half and half. I understand why people don't want it, the kids Disney Plus, but it's also not a kids show. And I understand. I don't know. I'm half and half, but when I finally saw what happened, I was like, "This is like I feel like this is like on Cartoon Network too." Like,
which is where my argument comes in that like if we can get this on screen, why can't we get a completely graphic, disgusting rated R movie based on the Old Republic?
And I'll agree that like at least a disclaimer, something to say, hey, there might be something triggering coming up. I mean, they put it on freaking Robin Hood now, the classic cartoon. Like they couldn't have had it here. Like, okay, like
you know, I just like how we're saying it. Yeah, it's not a kid's show, though, but you know, it's just like a thing in the air. It's like, well, how many times we see a head being decapitated in the Clone Wars? So it's like, but no, but
pre-Disney.
I definitely get that as well. No, I appreciate everybody's opinions on that too, because you know, there's a lot of people who are just survivors of those instances as well, and I think it's speaking to that audience too. And who are we to say, oh, that should not be in Star Wars or not? But I was like so in the middle on it. I was like, maybe if it was meant to be, it was just meant to be, though. But it's like those type of things, like so sensitive, and I really appreciate you guys are brave enough to show you guys point of view on that. Yeah.
Let's I'm gonna roll through some chat here real quick. We got OTT in the house. He says my struggle is lining up this early version of the rebellion with the vibe of the rebellion in the OT. I don't mind the focus being different, but it just seems too disconnected from what comes after. Great. SWF wants to know, Closet, will you be at ICCC? I got you a gift.
Oh,
a gift. Oh.
We're gonna kidnap him at this point,
right? I know.
I appreciate the gift. Yeah, I plan on being there.
Sweet. OTT also says, I also see Connor's point that a lot of stuff that seems initially disconnected is ultimately accepted as Star Wars. Maybe not for everyone like me, but for many others, it ultimately works. We'll keep going here. We got a lot of comments to get through here.
Point, OTT.
Yeah. Jeffrey says the rebels were based off the Viet Cong. Newt Gunray is based off of Newt Gingrich. To build a rebellion, you can't be loud. You can be loud with the pew pew.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Ben says, I was super triggered by Tony's comments, though. That huge, sophisticated answer he gave about SA made it seem like that's the only way Bix can find clarity for her path. SA is lazy.
I think it definitely downplays the women empowerment, but at the same time, it's like that's a reality for women in society too. Because you look at You look at what's going on in Europe right now with the Russians. One of the big reports that was coming out was they were, Arin and pillaging villages. It's a reality of being a woman in today's society as well. But I do understand where you're coming from at that point.
Yeah. Says you only want action, but only your kind of action. I mean,
it's not we're expecting lightsaber fights.
No, I don't think that means what you think it means, though.
I mean, like I said, and going to your point there, Josiah, is I love Skeleton Crew.
Right.
I didn't give a shit if that lightsaber appeared or not.
Right.
But it still had the Star Wars feel. It gave me that sense of adventure. It gave me that sense of like, oh my God, I feel like a kid again. Like that's the kind of stuff I used to do in my cul-de-sac.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be lightsabers and pew pew, but like,
and I think that's what most people are like, is wrong.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, there's a lot of people out there that's like, oh, there's no lightsaber. I'm not watching it. Like, okay, cool. And like, that's for you. Cool. Thank you.
Ben also says too, that's the only way her character can find clarity. Like it's a lazy way to attack female characters and storytelling in general. Interesting.
I don't think it's much of an attack.
No. Yeah. Connor says that's a fair point about escapism, Star Wars gazer. I'm not a fan of trigger warnings as a general principle, but perhaps there should have been a warning. Didn't bother me personally, however. Let's see.
Well, I think the warning is there for people who, like we have talked about, who have been victims of SA, who have dealt with those kinds of things. If they're going into this just raw and not knowing what could be and what, like this might be somebody's first experience to Star Wars. And they've got to watch that, and it would trigger them,
Yeah.
Yeah. Connor says Freddie Mercury once said, "Do whatever you want with my music, just don't make it boring." I don't know how George Lucas feels about but Andor is not a boring use of the Star Wars IP.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah,
and I can respect your opinion, but I think it is.
Yeah,
I'd rather watch
sleep, so that sums it up for me.
Yeah,
I might as well watch C-SPAN Network for that shit. So,
Connor says the fact that these live streams exist that can have nuanced conversations about the show indicates that it is a thought-provoking and engaging piece of media.
Yeah, okay. I got something to say about that, Connor. I agree. That's what I'm sitting here thinking about this whole time. Is there's only like two. You can probably name two franchises where something like SA is brought up, and then we start a roundtable unsolicited to talk about should it have been in there or not. Right. It's probably this and Harry Potter. That's it. Like,
well,
I think that it happened is, and honestly, I don't remember who said it. Battle Packs. Is it Jesse?
Yes, sir.
May have said, like, when I finally looked at it, like it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I kind of echo that because whenever it was about to happen, like when I kept hearing about it before it came out, I kept thinking it's going to be Game of Thrones, and it really wasn't. So my overall thoughts, because I haven't really said that yet. My overall thoughts on that whole situation was, me personally, if I'm directing, I probably don't put it in. I thought of a different way to do it would be as soon as it's about to happen, you cut, do plot B, plot C, come back to plot A, and you see the dude coming out all bloody and he falls down, and she can even still say what was attempted to have happened, but she still won in that moment. So you kind of hit both angles there without having to get into the weeds of it. But again, it's not something. I just feel like it's interesting, like what Connor's saying there, that it's just crazy that it's something that we're even talking about because it's how much we all care about Star Wars at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And to cut onto your point too, is like you're saying there's only a couple places that have done it. And I think that speaks to the fact that there's so much uncertainty about whether or not you can ethically put something like that in there that a lot of places have kind of avoided doing it. A lot of shows have kind of avoided doing that kind of stuff.
I do appreciate, the fact that the thing that I took out of here too is that we have nuanced conversations, right?
Yep.
Like we're not trying to degrade anybody for their opinion. We might not agree with it, but we want that here in this circle of Nerdsgalore, is being able to have nuanced conversations about this stuff, even shows that we don't like. So Ben also says, I respect people saying it's not a kid's show, but then again, how far are we going to take this? Are we going to go full-blown nudity in the next Star Wars project?
Bro, we already got there.
Hell yeah.
we already,
baby. Yeah.
Let me see them.
All I'm going to say is there was no shirt on my bantha.
Hey, you know what, guys? Let me tell you, because I really enjoy these type of conversation with people like from all sorts of background and different opinions as well. Because these type the influencers like this, Disney will never invite to premieres. That I can promise you for sure.
And I'm not looking for
they're gonna like invite people that's like with millions of followers and this and that. And he'll say everything good about Disney, this and that.
I don't even win giveaways, so I don't care.
Yeah. So it's like I always appreciate this type of diversity of type of fan base. It's nobody just because you have an opinion on one show does not make you like a Star Wars fan. I wish we get past that too, because there's a lot of hate I got on Facebook what I said about the show and everything. He said you're not truly a Star Wars fan.
Right. And like we saw with the people that were coming in here, it's like we weren't even fucking saying anything at this point. We were just digesting. And that's the problem is like as a person, if you're gonna give your thoughts on something, watch it. Understand it, give your own opinion. Don't just regurgitate the same stuff that other people are saying.
Actually,
but we were getting hate because we were sitting here watching it.
Right.
Come on, bro.
Right. Or at least putting effort into this, like to watch and try to understand what this show is about.
No, but this is like what makes it more authentic. I wish we'll get more type of fan base like this. It's just hard, just to find people who are just solely on this and then fuck everybody else with their opinions about, well, we like Acolyte, we like this and that. And if you don't like it, you're a racist, you're a homophobe. Like, I mean, we need to get past that. You know what I mean?
Well, the way I look at being a Star Wars fan is the way you look at going to a comic convention.
Right.
Okay, you got people that cosplay. I don't. You got people that like just going to panels. You got people that like getting autographs and photo ops. You got like people that like to go get collectibles. Okay, so maybe you do all four, maybe you don't. But at the end of the day, we enjoy the environment that we're in. So Star Wars is the con. But we have different avenues, different types of things that bring us together. If you cosplay, that's fine. I'm gonna record you. I'm gonna take a picture next to you. I don't cosplay. That's not me. But that's you, and I respect you. You want to go and sit in panels, or you want to go into a room where they played and trade pins or do games. That's you. I get autos and photos. Maybe you're like, oh, it's ridiculous to get a photo and spend that much money with somebody for a second. But that's what I like, and I want to have it on my wall. But you want to cosplay all day for 3 days, and
and I think that. I think that's a societal issue too, because let me put it to you this way, and maybe I'm wrong, I haven't seen anything about it. I don't see Japanese fans attacking each other. It's like the Americans and the Europeans, and it's this I'm right, you're wrong. We're all in this universe, we don't have to be kumbaya. If I don't like Closet's opinion, I can say I don't like it, but it's at the point nowadays too, and I don't know if it's just because of the fatigue or everybody's frustrated and they're taking their anger out on everybody else, but it's like, I'm not. It doesn't serve and it doesn't function me and it doesn't build this fan base. If Closet hops in here and is like, I really like Andor, and I'm like, fuck you, you're wrong, get out of here. It does like it's taking time out of my day, it's taking time out of his enjoyment, and it doesn't build the fan base. So it's like, I wish we could all get to a place where at the bare minimum, like I respect every person in here's opinions. I respect everybody that's saying what they want in the chat. It's a respect thing. It's not about who's right, who's wrong. Respect people, man.
And it's not about questioning somebody's fandom also. Like, because, believe it or not, a couple of years ago, I'm a Star Wars fan of just movies. Movies. So I didn't watch Rebels. I didn't watch Clone Wars. I didn't watch any of the animated series stuff. What is Flexit? What up, Flex? Because the simple fact, what did he wrote? What was wrote in the chat? Why are we laughing?
We'll get to it.
Life was better before Closet.
But I'm saying, like, I didn't watch those animated shows, and I remember Tony telling me, "Bro, you need to watch that." And I tell him, Tony, I don't watch cartoons, bro. I only watch the live action Star Wars. I'm sorry, but that was my ignorance. But again, if we got to respect people, if they just like, there's people that just like the EU and the books and the comic books and the backstory, and we got to respect them. They love Star Wars. So it's like the thing is, when we question each other's fandom, like, oh, you don't know nothing about Star Wars. Yeah, I do. We just have two different views.
No, I like how you said it, Pop, because I remember when you were showing all your videos at conventions and everything else, everybody should start somewhere. People just start with the Rebels, and that's how they start with it. That doesn't make them not a Star Wars fan because we grew up with the prequels or originals or anything like that. So when you go to Celebration, you don't see much of division or anything like that. You probably see it on maybe social media when it comes to maybe things like this. But when you go to Celebration, everybody's like,
all
yeah,
love, man.
everybody's come
All
from
love.
yeah. So
we got some people in the house here. We got Bryant Collectibles is here. He says so. No
What's
one is
up,
getting paid
Bryant?
royalties. Yeah, good
Let's
to see you, man.
Right.
Good to see it. He says, I've skipped this first one. The industry is slowly dying. A lot has to do with streaming services. Take a show like Friends. The writers were making money per episode, and it's 24 per season. These days, a series will last 4 to 7 episodes. Yeah, so you're not getting the royalties and stuff. Yeah.
But
absolutely.
wasn't that addressed in the writer strikes? Didn't they fix that?
Now, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
20 years later.
Brian says you can't make a movie like Superbad these days. It wouldn't work because people have become so sensitive. The executives play a major factor when it comes to movies and shows. They're not creative.
But we should be able to get that kind of shit because it's like, for me, it's like that's almost censorship in a way.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope, man.
It's Hollywood, bro.
Yeah.
So Star Wars has become soft. We can most agree with. Is it becoming like more of a soft type society?
I mean, we can't cut each other up with lightsabers, so we're just gonna pretend that these things that even in Skeleton Crew, like homie almost kills himself with a lightsaber. We all know what's going on, but like if that were to have hit him, it would have just been him sitting there with like a little dot on his chest, like you know.
Ben has a couple comments here. He says, guys, the greatest interaction I've ever had with a Star Wars fan online was during Acolyte. I said the premiere was a 7, and I got a DM saying I was a toxic racist. Like, bro.
It's culture. It's the culture, man.
Says, here's another thing, guys. Like me being a part of a Star Wars podcast, being online has scraped away so much of my joy talking Star Wars with people because folks are always throwing arrows. Again, that's not what we want to do here. We just want to talk Star Wars and opinions and respect each other.
Except if nerds here.
Right. That's why I'm glad to have friends like Jesse as well as other people like us now. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm friends within the Star Wars community. So for those of you who were wondering why there's like 4 or 5 of us in the chat that were absolutely laughing while Pop was talking there, Mr. Shillmaster General pops on. Star Wars Closet's just minding his own business over here. And
so he always does.
Shillmaster pops on and right away pops off. He says life was better before Closet started focusing on Star Wars instead of Star Trek. So no matter where he goes, Star Wars Closet seems to kind of catch the brunt of everything here.
Although fair, it's fair hate now because he said he hates all of us in the community. So brag on him.
I just hate the community at this point. I'm only here for Andy Garcia and his amazing artwork. That's all I'm here for. And for Pop,
appreciate that.
And Josiah and Jesse and Battle Packs and Gazer. The others
I consider Closet a friend.
I have a problem with.
How quickly the mind of a young man changes. Last episode, I was beloved.
What did I do?
No,
you're in the good squad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, by the way,
Muff, you didn't defend me hard enough when Clone Wars Chill Master Acolyte Lover over there.
Oh, I didn't even know he said that. I'm in the middle of talking. I thought everybody was making fun of me. I'm like, what did I say?
Listen, I got my jersey on. It was rude, wasn't it? Shouldn't have done it.
I got my Disney jersey on.
Well, Pop was talking. I couldn't defend you.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So just.
We got Flex in the building, guys. Super thankful.
What up, Flex?
Time, so appreciate that as well.
Hey, yo, Flex, are you going to ICCC? Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, there we go.
Yo, that ICC group photos would be crazy.
Bro, we're gonna have a whole. Bro, we're gonna make a Lucasfilm 20th anniversary picture of just us homies.
Yes, 100%.
It's gonna be massive.
Yeah. Josiah, you told your mom to push that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Mom, you got to push your little knee surgery. Yeah, that can
wait.
Right,
that can wait. We're going to ICCC, man. Okay, Shillmaster General, your thoughts since you just popped on not that long ago.
Howdy.
Star Wars Closet sucks.
Okay, keep his name out your mouth.
How dare you?
Keep your name out. Keep his name out your mouth. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow, the heat is real over here. Bro.
You ever see the episode of Family Guy when Lois runs for election?
Yes.
That's gonna be me. It's like, how do you feel about this? Star Wars Closet sucks.
All right, go ahead, Sean.
In all reality, though, In all reality, though, Star Wars Closet's like one of my favorite people to talk to. That's why I give him so much crap. So, like, if you're actually hating on him, get out of here.
Pull up the DMs. Yeah. Pull up the DMs.
Get in line if you're actually hating
I
on
called him Papa on Twitter.
Interesting. Flex says, "No, sir, not this year. I will be at Rebel Scum though."
All right, man. I see
be
you,
there.
Manito, Rebel Scum. I'll be there.
But the person who was talking about like having a podcast and it ruining their fun of Star Wars, I think it's only heightened mine.
Okay.
Like, having the podcast and talking to people like all of you, like, it's really made it more fun again. It's made it more real than it's been in years.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. If you read the comments, yeah, like I've said it on multiple streams now. Like, I had a video where like I put Rogue One in like my top 3 movies, and I got like hate messages and like told to kill myself and
That's
stuff.
crazy.
And like,
That's
if
wild.
you read those messages, like, yeah, it sucks, but like, I just stopped looking at the comment page.
Yeah.
Right, but we should be at a development point as human beings with intelligence and free
As
thought
adults.
that we don't need
That's not
to
gonna
sit
happen.
here and shit.
You're
on
always
you. I
gonna
know
have
it's
people
not.
that troll.
I know
You're always
it's
gonna
not.
have people that be negative. There's people that just the thing is weird. People just wake up mad.
Yeah,
I'm like,
no.
damn, just hold your breath and die.
Like nerd
Right.
wakes up just angry, bro.
Bro, like, I mean, take the pillow and just cover yourself and then
And don't let go.
and
Lights
leave the
out.
good people to live. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. Like I would say I'm not a morning person.
Me
I go
neither.
to sleep late, folks.
Me
I
too.
go late and I have to wake up early, drop off the kid. But I'm not gonna take it out on somebody because I decided to play, Mario at 2 a.m. That was my decision.
Yeah.
So people are just mad, like, okay, you like the OT, congratulations, so do I. But you're not gonna find the OT here. So go to Disney Plus and rewatch it all the time if that's what you want,
Right.
and that's fine. But if other people like other shows, just respect that.
Right.
Respect.
Again, respect. That's the word.
I think my first T-shirt that I'm gonna make when the YouTube channel launches is just the Star Wars theme. Is just gonna say respect.
You already
Yeah,
have a
Star
channel.
Wars
It's called
respect, yeah.
Cantina something.
Okay, that doesn't count. It wasn't mine.
But no, like, again, I keep harping on this, but like this podcast is gonna be that. It's gonna be filled with respect. Like, again, we might disagree with Shill Master General down there because he's the shill, but that's okay. We're still gonna try and respect him. Anyway, no, just kidding. No, we're still gonna respect him. And we just want to have fun. Yeah, right. Bryant Collectible says, can we take a moment and applaud at the fact that Revenge of the Sith made nearly 1 billion since it's been out, and the re-release was a success? Just upset they didn't do anything at Star Wars Celebration.
Dude, they did nothing. I think there was one panel, and it was like a bunch of like uni kids or something up there talking about the science behind Revenge of the Sith or something.
Yeah,
That was
Heavily market on Andor is what happened.
I've got a theory on that because if you look at some of the panels, and like I think I've talked about it before, it kind of looked like they just threw some stuff together because maybe they had other things that were lined up that fell through.
I'm not gonna lie, there was
But my thing
nothing.
is, there's no excuse. Yeah, don't get me wrong. There's, things happen.
Right.
You could plan for an event, but you had 2 years. So
Right.
you need to have a backup for a backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You're Disney,
Especially with
you're
the amount of
Star
money you're
Wars.
charging people for.
Yeah, have a backup. So if something falls through, get something else. But yeah, man, Celebration this year was.
Because I had a gut feeling that's where when Andor and everything else, they're really just going to hype it more on that and just mark on that alone. They said, well, fuck the prequels and everything else. Who cares about much of re-release? But something like this shit happens, especially how much they made in revenue. This should just wake Disney up right there. If it doesn't at this point, I don't know what. But it's like,
And I would like to make the point too. We haven't got the anniversary for Attack of the Clones yet, and I'm gonna be real with you. We probably won't because the 25th year
2022.
anniversary. The 25th year anniversary of Attack of the Clones is the next for A New Hope. If I'm right.
Yeah.
So that we know where
Yeah.
they're going to go with that,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is
100%.
sad. Do the 20.
Disrespect, bro.
Ben
Disrespect.
says, whoa, that pillow comment was a sophisticated Tony Gilroy type scene right there. Connor says there's a difference between being passionate and being obsessive. It shouldn't be a difficult line to tread, but so many fans fall into the latter camp. Obsession leads to anger, anger leads to hate.
Look at your boy
Yeah.
Cashin. Look at your boy Cashin. I'll make a point there. He cares about Bix, but he's starting to teeter on that line of being that obsessive, controlling boyfriend.
Yep.
And look what
Something's gonna
happens to him in Rogue One.
Right.
This is a very good point, like Pop had said.
Yep. SWF says, big fan of Pop, by the way. Love your vids.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're subscribed to all of us, right? Our names are in here. You should subscribe to all of us. We're cool. I promise.
My actual name's not in here.
I understand the trigger warning, and we're not to have a whole conversation back of like the attempt rate. Okay, but what's gonna happen if my prediction of Cassian killing Bix and he shoots her in the head? Is there gonna be a problem with that?
No. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I think what you're saying is right, and I think the real aspect that we have to look at too is he's either going to have to kill her or be responsible directly for her death.
Yeah.
Because he's not letting himself go over it, just like with the Anakin and Vader. He never processes that, and he just
Anakin choked out a pregnant woman. That's crazy, bro.
And then she died because she was sad.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it would be like a mercy killing type thing. What Big's like, yeah, you can kill me.
Canceling Anakin.
I think if that's the route that they were going to go, then make the pills that she's been popping like Fent or cyanide.
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Kento says cool show, but the big girl boss revenge against the white man scene was dumb. I mean, I can see if it's used as like almost like therapy for her. He's trying to help her kind of regain her sanity, I guess, in a way. Like I don't know.
Well, I also think too.
It's Star Wars Game of Thrones scene. Like it's supposed to be her Sansa moment. Like after all the abuse that she dealt with Ramsay Bolton, like she eventually sends the hounds to kill him. Right. And this is her, like this is her healing. I love that scene.
Well, because if you look at it too, and like you said, it happened too fast. So I'm not really sure if I'm correct on this, but it was almost like Cassian didn't want her to kill him. In a way, because at the opening, right, it was completely the opposite, right? Bix didn't want to kill anybody, and he did, and then it kind of flips on the parallel there.
Yeah, I don't know. Cassian seemed blood hungry all 3 episodes. Like he wanted to kill that shop. Like he was like, "I haven't seen you in a while," and he's like, "Yeah, you're gonna pay for that one." Like he'll probably go back and kill that guy, and then like he killed the guy who saw Bix's face, and then like I think if she's like, "I want to kill Dr. Gorst," then obviously like Lonnie's the reason that they find out where he is. I don't know. I don't think he would have talked her out of it. He seemed super content in doing it.
No, I'm not saying like that. I'm saying like, the parallel there where, we've gone from let's not cause unnecessary harm. And like, if you look at Bix during the 3rd episode, it's like, she doesn't want to be responsible for people dying now. She's just like, I hate everybody dying.
Right.
Yeah.
They just
There's a giant explosion on Coruscant.
Oh, Pop, you gotta go. Peace, dude. Thank you so much for joining, Pop. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for bringing the love.
Happy May 4th. And,
yes.
May the 4th, minutes.
May the 4th be with you.
Rock it out. And don't forget about Revenge of the 5th. It's not just Cinco de Mayo.
No.
So you need to have your red lightsaber and a margarita at the same time.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, bro. If I go to the taqueria down here dressed as a Jedi, something bad gonna happen to me.
Ben says Whispers so K2. He's so connected to him during Rogue One. Still no sight of him yet. Man, he felt really hard for a robot after only a short time. LOL.
I think what's gonna happen is B2 Emo is gonna get absolutely cooked, or B2 Emo's circuitry and boards and stuff, like the body of it's gonna get cooked, and that's what goes into K2. So
I don't even think we're gonna see B2 again. I think he was done after the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Because they left him on whatever the name of that planet was.
Farmland. Whatever.
Yeah.
They left him in Farmville.
So it's kind of like a dog, and he needs a new dog.
Connor wants to know, do you think Cassian killing Bix is too cynical? Tony Gilroy is a fan of nuance, but I don't think he will end Bix's story that cynically. Her conclusion will be tragic, in my opinion, but not in that way.
I think it'll be he is somehow directly responsible for her like with Vader and Anakin and Vader, he wants to save her so bad, and then at the end of the day, he's responsible for her dying. Like he does something and she dies, and he lives with it.
Or do you think it could be Luthen convinces her to go on a journey or on a trip? She dies, Andor goes, and that's when you realize Luthen has crossed the line.
Right.
He's so obsessed with the mission that he's throwing everyone out.
I think he's already there mentally. I think action wise that could be a thing, and then maybe he kills Luthen.
Maybe, yeah.
Connor says, if I'm wrong, I will not like that choice. At least on paper, I'm not a fan of that decision with Bix at all.
I was of the belief that like I didn't want everybody to die. Like just because they don't appear in Rogue One doesn't mean that they have to die, and it doesn't mean they need their own spin-off show either. They just like Bix can survive this and also not get her own spin-off show. So like I don't think they all need to die. Like I hope Clea doesn't die, but I think she will.
I think if we're developing Andor into this heartless, cruel bastard that wants everybody to die, Bix needs to die. At this point, the way that they've written this show, I think she has to die. Not that I want her to, but I think she has to.
Speaking of Bix, look at that.
Bro, it's focused.
Come on. I can kind of see it in and out. There we go.
Yeah.
Yo, dollar start.
Yeah,
$1 start right now? All right. The only thing is $500 shipping.
Well, then you can send it to Jesse. It'll equal out.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Going back to, if I may, what you're talking about with the execution of the doctor that tortured her.
Yeah.
Did anyone else think that was another dream?
No.
Going in? No. When she finally kills him, I thought it was another nightmare.
I thought at the beginning, I thought it was another dream. Yeah, I agree with you. I thought it was another nightmare dream thing, and I was like, huh?
Yeah, I turned to read. I was like, wait, was that real? I realized it's one of the problems is they're not prioritizing their story. Why wasn't that the arc for Bix for those 3 episodes of finding the doctor instead of I'm gonna drug myself, and then all of a sudden, I found the doctor, he's dead. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, it means they didn't take the time to choose their stories properly.
That's what I'm saying.
He just gave us Bonnie and Clyde ending.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying with this whole compression of these series is we've got all these points pinging, but there's no thread.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why they lose me in these episodes.
What did you just say?
That was a great point because
that word
so good in the show at like directing where these stories go. In my opinion, I think that the storyboards written out very well. That is one occasion. That's such a good point where it was so random, where she goes from complete like can't cope, drug addict, like all the things, to she kills him. Just bang, so. Yeah, that's a great point. I didn't really think about that. I did at first think it was a dream, but then it was kind of quick. Her doing that.
But she wasn't searching as well. Lonnie is the one who was literally getting like tasked to go work with him on whatever he was doing. So Lonnie gave the information. She wasn't looking. She just took the opportunity that Lonnie gave them.
Yeah.
But how do you go from not being able to cope, I'm going to seclude myself in this place, to
just wake up one day and go, I'm shooting everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the problem, I think. Bryant says, guys, Star Wars Celebration 2027. If any of you are coming, I am. I'm planning on taking a massive group to the studios so you guys can film content and shows you were making.
Yo, Bryant. Bryant's getting the party bus.
I love it.
Party bus on Bryant.
Bryant, I am in.
Yeah, we're in, man.
This is a good one. Ben says, will Luthen be Cyril's dad or Uncle Harlow? I've seen that floated around.
I was thinking that the other day, bro. I was like, I'm not super tuned into the show, but I was kind of like, I was thinking about like, oh, what's the theory I could come up with? I'm the theories kind of guy at this point.
Yeah.
Like that's an interesting point we could see, but do we think that they've thought of that and developed that?
Jesse, what do you think? We haven't heard you in a bit. I want your opinion on this. What do you think?
Nerds. I'm trying to think. Like maybe, but it's not going to matter to me at the end of the day. Like that's not a big storyline for me.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I thought that Luthen is Cleia's dad. I thought that there was always a relationship there that's deeper than anything we've said.
Yeah.
And they kind of act alike and they kind of resemble each other.
Yeah. Yep. We got Brick Creations in the house.
I can't even
What up,
think
nerds?
of Luthen caring about another human being enough to procreate with them.
Ew.
I mean, he's not wrong. Connor says the Dr. Gorse scene did in isolation did kind of come out of nowhere. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, like, he's walking into his office, the light flicks on, she's in the corner with a gun. I'm like, oh, this is another dream. And then it happened. They walk out and it's like, boom. And I'm like, what just happened? Like,
Yeah,
what did I just watch?
Like, I don't know which one of the comments said it, but like, I didn't look at it like, oh, girl boss thing or whatever. I
Right,
just
neither
thought, oh,
did
good,
I.
she got her revenge. But I didn't think about what Andy said. I think that's a really good point. It was fast. Also, can we kick Nerd before we keep this thing going too long?
Yeah, absolutely. He just says, you closets here, I'm leaving, and then it says, love you, bud. Like,
Yeah, I know, dude. Whiplash of emotions I'm going through. So
right? I know. Connor says, in retrospect, there are subtle things that set it up with Lonnie, Partagaz, Bix cleaning the safe house and being encouraged to get healthier by Luthen. Also seeing the mission light go off, etc. So
I'm gonna be so real with you. I'm so checked out of this series. I don't even know what the hell that comment was about.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of that shit.
Yeah.
I like
Iron.
the what if line that they did as well. Like we should have killed Krennic like while we were up there, and it's like it leads you like to this what if line. Like, oh, what if they actually had killed him?
Yeah.
What
Like
if
the
they
Death
could
Star
get their
doesn't
heads
get
out of their
finished.
ass to do it?
Then we would
Iron.
have Rogue One then.
Right.
Well, I mean, shit. How many
Yeah.
what ifs do we have with Anakin? Like, he literally had his saber pointed at Palpatine's chest. Could have
Yeah.
just done
Yeah.
us all the favor.
Yep.
What if Darth Maul just killed Anakin when he was a 2-year-old? Like,
Yeah.
That's why I like the Lego Star Wars shows. They're kind of like
Yeah.
Star Wars what if right now.
yeah.
Ironside says it was great. Ironside, I'd like to know why you think it was great.
Yeah.
Just kind of give us your opinion as to what things in the show make it great for you that you really enjoy. Let's see. I'll just watch on multiple channels. This is on LOL. I mean, if
You're
you're
already
up in the
pre-banned from
numbers,
my
that's
Twitch.
cool.
Actually, come join my Twitch. I need to get to 3 average viewers on this stream.
Yeah. Let's see. Are we getting Andy back? He hopped off here. No, maybe not. I don't know what happened to Andy. He just kind of left.
What's your Twitch, Muff?
This is Muff Bunzo.
Says, although I've seen so many Oscar-worthy movies and other all-time classics, I don't think I'm sophisticated enough to process this show. LOL.
I've suffered for them too, because like everybody was watching, what was it, Inception and like Black Mirror and all that stuff, and I just sit there and I'm just like, I don't give a shit. Like, this is weird. I don't like it. It makes my head hurt.
Yeah.
I might be the knuckle dragger here, boys. I might be the window licker.
That gave me a headache though, that's for sure. Though I get
that shit gave me a
migraine
headache.
right after, bro. Watching that whole shit, and I'm like, damn, okay.
Bro, like, I hate going to a movie and I sit there and I'm just like this the whole time, and like they actually make me think about the plot and this shit, and then afterwards I'm just like,
So let me ask you
oh,
just how it is right now. If this was shown on a big screen, would this be a hit or miss? You think?
I think for
good
me it'd be a
question.
miss, because I make fun of my fiance for falling asleep during literally anything that we watch that's not a rom-com. I would be snoring profusely if this was
Especially
a movie.
we're one of those layout theaters.
Oh my god, bro! If my recliners,
Yeah.
I'd be catching popcorn.
Look at this. I love this. Ironside responded. And I appreciate Ironside. This is
Yeah.
what we want to
Yeah,
foster,
with
these nuanced discussions here. So let's take in what he says. He's got two here. He says the show is very high quality. It is an absolute masterpiece compared to anything else Star Wars just put out. For me, Andor and Rogue One enhances the original trilogy. He says, I wanted adult Star Wars for a really long time. I wish we had a Game of Thrones Star Wars type show.
We're never getting that.
So let's start off with this comment. What do you guys think compared to everything else Star Wars just put out?
I think that's
like
such a low fucking bar, though. Like, let's be real. Like, if we're comparing it to everything else, like, we're comparing it to a show that got a tenth of the budget about a legacy character, We're comparing it to Acolyte. We're not going to speak any further on that show. We're comparing it to Rogue One and Solo, which I think are not fair comparisons because they're movie productions. So it's like, at the end of the day, I think a lot, and this is going to be a controversial thing, I think a lot of the hype that this gets is just because everything else is kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first, like, well-produced kind of like a story arc that we're getting.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is like the first show where the first episodes aren't like here, and then it goes like this, and then a little tick. You know, I think we're gonna see here a lot of mid, and then boom at the end. I hope. If not, I'm gonna be disappointed. But
yeah,
you know,
why can't we recast Bale but not recast Cara Dune? Because that was like, and I'll make this relatable.
What's up, Victoria?
That was what was missing in Mandalorian season 3. Like, her character type was missing. It didn't have to be Gina Carano, but that was a central figure to the story.
I think if they were to recast Gina Carano, they'd be in a lot bigger pile of legal shit than they're already in with her dismissal.
Yeah, they'll be.
Yeah.
I think that just adds to her case if they replace her, you know.
Yeah. And look at this. Ironside says very true to kind of your first comment. Like, what kind of bar are we measuring this against?
Right. See, we can have a civil conversation.
Right.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, Ironside, like I see one of your comments here says I'll settle for this show, and that's kind of like where we're at. Like, I'll settle for anything that intrigues me, and that's
right.
Kind of the issue is I want something that blows my mind, and I do think in some ways and I had a comment on one of my videos about this, and it's fair. We've been begging for give us something like intense and real in Star Wars, and Andor delivers on that in so many ways. But it lacks in so many others that make Star Wars Star Wars. So I think that's why we're all so in this like weird meta kind of like, does it add to it or does it take away? And I'm somewhere in the scaffolding where I know it is good to have. I want a little more with it. I want it to look good, not just be scaffolding.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Connor says it had deep themes of found family, the corruption of power, the need to preserve mythology, and the anti-war, anti-authoritarian sentiment.
So my question to you, Connor, would be the preserved mythology. Is that about the relics in that room? Because if I'm going to be real with you, that's another one of those tie-ins to Nazi Germany where it's like take from everybody else all the cool shit and just sell it to all the people who want it.
Okay, so we have a couple more comments here from Connor, and the second one I really want to touch on.
Yes.
So he says, I also loved Mandalorian season 1 and 2 because it was competently made, respected its characters, knew the lore, and embodied the spirit of Star Wars. He goes on to say, however, I wish it went a little deeper than just being a spaghetti western. Andor's giving me that missing piece. That's the thing, though.
Ooh.
Star Wars, its original intent, and I've talked to Roger Christian about this, it's a spaghetti western. That's what it's supposed to be. And it's true
look at Boba
intent, right? It's supposed to be a spaghetti western. So I get what you're saying. And for some people, they're getting this deeper, more intellectual thing. That's great. But for some of us, like myself included, I want that spaghetti western. I want the action. I want you know what I mean? Like, not that there can't be any stories, but I like the spaghetti western originality of it.
And tying back to where we talked about the James Bond spy thriller thing, like if they made a James Bond spy thriller with Andor, I'd be gobbling it up like Thanksgiving turkey.
Right, exactly. Star Wars Nerd says, dude, that recast wasn't even a recast. Bale wasn't there. I don't care. If that's the only Bale appearance, it was a waste. I don't believe it was a schedule conflict. Interesting.
So, I wrote in the chat if I could answer this one, but I'm just going to answer it anyway.
Yes, go ahead. Yep.
Tony Gilroy said that he eased everybody into what's his name, Jimmy Smith's not being there. So Bale is going to have a bigger part in the rest of the show, but he wanted to do it. I like the look of the guy, but like, is it real? Like, the guy who originally plays Bale has been pretty silent, and I just want to know what happened. Is
he okay?
Because, well, I'm not like, not that he's okay. He's definitely he's fine. He's chilling, but like,
we know he's not gonna get killed, but
But like, this show took multiple years to film. At what point could you not get him to do
for a week?
Like
a week,
yeah, or however long it takes to film. I don't know anything about acting at all. I mean, the only person in here that I know who knows anything about acting is Star Wars Closet because he acts like a Star Wars fan.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks for having me.
The funny thing about that comment is Star Wars Closet messages us in our group and says, "Gotta hop off in 5, boys. Just FYI." I put in the group chat, "Don't let Shill bother you, man." I hit send, and as I hit enter, this dude's giving him crap for this. I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" Like, don't let him bother you, man. It's okay.
Now's your time to come to my aid here. Okay, now I got
you. I got you. Fuck off.
Closet, what did you do to him? What have you done? Have you done anything?
All I did, here, you know what I did? I existed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't done anything, Jesse. I haven't done anything. All I do is exude love. That's
Outer
all
Rim in the house, guys. Outer Rim in the house.
He put in his love letter to me. He put "Go Braves," and it started a war.
Why does it start a war?
By the way, Closet, did you get a chance to watch Skeleton Crew?
So I'm one episode deep, and so far, everyone that has said like, "Hey, you'll enjoy it," they're right. I'm enjoying it. It's not bad at all.
Oh, that makes so much sense. The Clone Force. That makes
it baffled me that they said the Acolyte did better with the ratings. I was like, oh my god,
it didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't.
Here we
They're
go.
lying.
Nerds coming.
Yeah,
Nerd work up.
We're ignoring Nerd. No, I'm just kidding. Real Ben says, yeah, Star Wars is spaghetti western at its core. That's what made it pop off, not turning into some adult HBO Game of Thrones Frankenstein.
Right.
Exactly.
I honestly think Game of Thrones ruined television because every show wants to be Game of Thrones, so they will throw random adult scenes that really a show does not need. And I think everyone's trying to be Game of Thrones because it got. I think that's why it was so popular as a show. Was shocking.
Fair. That's like a benchmark of entertainment. It's just like it has to be that. It's just like like what Rockstar Gaming. Y'all delayed GTA 6. We got delayed GTA 6
again.
before we got GTA 6. But even just like with that, for example, it's just how it works with industries. Like Rockstar, when it comes to open world gaming, it has to be at this level or else it sucks. You know. So yeah.
Ironside, thank you so much for being part of this chat. This is cool. This is what I love about this.
This is what I wanted to look at.
Yes, absolutely.
No, Ironside, I am required to hate you.
Shut up, Closet. Ironside says, I can't believe Jimmy Smits is filming the Dexter show instead of Andor. That's what I heard, and that's ridiculous. Dexter has been beaten to death at this point, even though I love the series.
I loved it.
I've never seen an episode of Dexter.
But is that because the actors are seeing that Star Wars is kind of a dying franchise and they're just trying to distance themselves from it? Be like, I don't want anything to do with this right now.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Or is the money not right?
I think the money for Dexter was a lot better than the money for one appearance and a couple episodes of Andor. Although I could be wrong because there's $700 million on the table here, Jimmy Smits.
All right, guys.
Get your
Here we go. Here we go. We got a question from Retro Lad. And Retro Lad, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, subscribe to everyone here. Appreciate you guys.
I want to talk about this Outer Rim Transmissions post here as well.
Yep, we will. We'll get there. But Retro Lad asked a really good question, and I think it's just kind of a fun question. We're going to go the prequels and the original 3, but he wants to know where you guys rank. I'm doing the first 6, the prequels and the OT. Where do you rank all the movies?
I got a video on it. It's on my YouTube channel.
Well, you can say it here too, Clone Force.
Nobody fucking cares.
Dang, man. That'll pass.
That's not nice.
Start off.
How
Go
could
ahead.
you be so mean?
I'd go 3, 5, 2, 6, 4, 1.
Okay. All right. How about you, Muff? What do you think?
I'm going to make my notes right now.
Come back to me.
Nope, you're on the clock.
Nah.
You got 10 minutes. Muff is on the clock.
Come back to me. I got 10 minutes.
All right, Commander Jesse, how about you?
3 and 6 are tied at first. I can't split them. And it changes so much. It depends on my mood. probably most consistently Empire, but Attack of the Clones sneaks in there too. I love that movie now. Yeah, so 3 and 4 are Attack of the Clones and Empire, A New Hope and Phantom.
I'm just about right there, Jesse. What you're just
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Josiah, any you're kind of on the same tune.
Yeah,
same
just,
level there?
especially what he said on episode. Let me see. Would you say it's episode 5 in Attack of Clones? Where you put them at? Tyus, what?
3 and 4, but they swap. Yeah.
Yeah,
they can swap.
yeah, just like what he said. And I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Star Wars Closet?
Okay, this is tough. So I've always said Empire, so I'm gonna say 5. Empire, Revenge of the Sith, really close second. Return of the Jedi would be 3rd because it's the first Star Wars movie I ever saw when I was 6.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say New Hope right after that, and then we're down to the other 2. I go back and forth on Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. I could quote all of Phantom Menace from beginning to end.
I love Phantom Menace, man.
Yeah.
That's so
I
good.
love and so it's not because I hate Attack of the Clones. I very much enjoy Attack of the Clones, but I'm going to say Phantom Menace takes that spot there, and then I'm going to put Attack of the Clones in the last spot.
Okay, cool. Andy,
Ooh. And it's only the first 6.
only the
correct?
first 6. Yep.
Okay.
That's where we're going.
Revenge of the Sith, Empire, maybe Attack of the Clones, and then Phantom Menace, and then Return of the Jedi, and then A New Hope. I didn't grow up with the originals. I grew up with the prequels, so I just haven't seen the originals enough. I've seen A New Hope quite a few times, but Empire and Return of the Jedi I just haven't seen enough.
Okay.
How old is everybody here? If you don't mind me asking.
No, I'm 30.
Yeah, 30. I'm 11 days younger than Star Wars Gazer.
Oh, wow.
I'm 28. Yeah.
I'm also 30.
I'm 24.
I'm 27.
Gazer and I are super close as well, so I'm probably super close to Andy. I'm December 7th, 94.
So it's down to me in Battle.
Oh, I'm December 22nd. You're just a few weeks older than I am.
It's down to me and
January
you.
3rd, 95.
I'm 29.
Son of a.
Yeah, I just.
I'm 32.
Say that again. I couldn't hear that. Say that again. How old?
32.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, so we got some 90s babies in here. And we got Commander Jesse.
Yeah, no.
All right.
24.
Clone Force, how about you?
For me, it's Revenge of the Sith, then New Hope, Return of the Jedi, Empire, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones. But also, even though you didn't include the sequels, I put Force Awakens above Attack of the Clones.
I didn't ask you about the sequels.
I might put Force Awakens as number
Get this
2.
guy out of here.
Oh, that's wild.
Guy out of here.
That's a take.
Yeah.
Wow.
Typical
Force
Philly,
Awakens is a good
baby.
movie.
Classic Clone Force.
Force Awakens is an enjoyable film. It's really
Names
good.
himself after the clones and then puts clones
Right.
bottom
Yeah.
of the barrel.
Right. For me, it's Empire. I'm a big Empire guy. Growing up watching the original
that's so
trilogy
edgy.
with my dad. Right. I know. My dad's
Loser.
favorite. We watched the Empire all the time. Close second, obviously, is Revenge. I know, another hot take. Sorry, guys. And then for me, coming in third is actually a mix between A New Hope and A Phantom Menace, and here's why. So A New Hope I love just because of the fact of, like, especially now talking to Roger Christian, like the way it completely transformed the way movies are made and the way things are done is just like it's you watch that again after talking to someone like Roger with a new appreciation of how movies are made. But the reason it's tied with A Phantom Menace for me in third is because not just Star Wars, but period, the first movie I've ever seen in theaters when I was 5 was A Phantom Menace. So for me, that holds a lot of nostalgia in my heart, being like that's the first one I saw in theaters. And then after that, it's Return of the Jedi and then Attack of the Clones. So those are my 6. So
nice.
Yeah.
Can I since we mentioned the sequels, can I edit my answer?
Sure.
Number 2 is Rogue One. I know it's not the sequel, but it's the Disney era.
Facts.
Number 2 is
That's where I put
Rogue
it.
One. It is really good.
Okay. I do
It
like
is
Rogue
the
One,
only-
but
It is the only Star Wars movie my dad ever stayed awake for. Like from beginning to end, he stayed awake for that movie and said that was good.
interesting. Okay.
I've got a hot take. I'm
Go
sure
ahead.
I'll get flack
Go
on.
ahead, Muff.
So for me, I go, man, and it changes often. Rewatching things. I think
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith is one for me.
Putting the pressure on.
I probably put Empire at 2.
Really, Clone Force.
But then I go Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and finish out Return of the Jedi, New Hope.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And for me, that's
Fair.
more about my experience with Star Wars. I like theory. I got bullied growing up, and Star Wars my escape. And the prequels for me are sentimental, just because not only were those the first that I saw, but my German grandfather was with me watching those. And it's the only thing that I've ever watched with him that he thought was cool. And, he went all out, supporting me with that and, let me beat my brothers with sticks as they were lightsabers and stuff.
All right.
That for me, it's always
Pause.
going to be a sentimental point. But yeah,
Mhm.
there's no pause about it. You're making it weird, bro.
Yeah. So Retro Lad answers his own question, says 5, 3, 6, Rogue One, 4, 2, Solo, then 1. Clone Wars movie, sequel trilogy last, and I'm 33 next week. Hey, happy early
Hey.
birthday, man.
Happy
birthday,
early
Yo,
birthday.
Retro.
Yeah, love it. Says been a Star
BP
Wars
will give you that Bix card for your birthday.
right?
Confirm.
Yeah. Ironside says number 2, Rogue One. Hey, yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, if we're not including the other projects, I think my list changes as well.
yes, I want to see the second season of Industrial Light and Magic.
I'm still looking at the first one.
was
I didn't even
good.
know that was a thing on there. until the
Outer
other
Rim.
week.
Outer Rim on here. Rogue One, you are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
Dude, top tier comment. Top
That is a
tier.
good
That
one.
was good. That was
Right.
good.
That was really good.
Sure
A
enough,
New
yeah.
Hope last. Dang. Speaking of A New Hope, I gotta plug this since we're talking about it. May 13th, Tuesday, May 13th, 6 Eastern. I gotta do it, baby. I gotta do it.
That's not what I'm laughing about.
Oh my gosh. Our private chat, guys. It's going down into ruin. No, Tuesday, May 13th.
Yes, he just saw it.
Yes, he just saw it.
Fuck's sakes.
Oh man. Holy crap. Oh. Tuesday, May 13th, 6 Eastern. We will be doing a live watch party with watching New Hope, and we will be joined by Roger Christian. So he's going to give live commentary on A New Hope as we watch it. So how things were made. There's stories that you're not going to hear on any behind the scenes DVD or anything like that. So be there. It'll be fun.
That's so cool.
Says Clone Wars does help Revenge of the Sith even more. I love Clone
Yes.
Wars, but I enjoyed Rebels more. Okay.
Rebels.
I'm gonna be
is
real with you.
Emotional.
Yeah, Rebels is great. It's a controversial take, but I'm putting that Gennady Tarkovsky above everything. For me, personally.
Oh, where's Ben? Ben was talking about.
He was.
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Yeah,
Way
I
up
love
in
it.
the
That's
chat
through
room.
Clone Wars. All right, that's like that was really good.
Yeah.
Muff, what was that Ring of Power thing you wanted to talk about?
Oh, can we are we able to pull that one back up?
It was,
Where was that?
Outer Rim transmission. Ring of Power wants to be Game of Thrones, and it
Yes,
sucks.
I'll bring it back
Oh.
up here real quick. Ben, we'd love to have you.
I
Let me.
I
pull
would
that
disagree
comment
with
up
you
here.
on that, Rim. I
Hold
don't
on a
think.
second. Let me find it. Let me
Yeah,
find it.
it's down a ways.
It was from Outer Rim, right?
Yep.
I want to hear this.
Okay.
Springs.
I don't know what
'Cause
Ring of Power is.
Star Wars is here. Lord of the Rings is here for me. Okay, so we can. I mean, we're not going to take over this podcast, but I will give my opinion. on this.
Wait. Do that
Do
again. You said what?
Star Wars is here.
Uh-huh.
Lord of the Rings is here.
Can you put your
Yeah.
hands next to each other
Damn.
so I can actually tell like which one you're saying is better?
Yeah.
Okay, they're
Oh, they're equal?
the same. They're the same.
I would make the argument that shot wise, Lord of the Rings is better than Star Wars
I will
as
go
a
a step
trilogy.
further.
As a trilogy,
I will go a step further. Lord of the Rings is up here. Star Wars is down here for me.
it's hard though. It's hard though, right? Because if you look at it in the way
Sorry.
that Lord of the Rings
Closet, come back.
were books before movies, Star Wars was movies before books.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an established lore before you even get the movies.
Yeah.
My thing with Rings of Power gets a lot of hate from the and it's similar. Yeah.
All right, we're ripping
has to
things
be
down.
extended edition. 100% extended
It
edition.
is.
Yeah.
I
Now
have these-
Puff's back there just dropping things.
I have
There
these
you go,
old
Muff.
copies of the books here.
You know what,
that's
Muff?
beautiful.
I will say I don't think Rings of Power is trying to be Game of Thrones at all. I think Rings of Power is trying to be Lord of the Rings.
Muff, you know what, man? You should get all those signed, man, because you know they have a whole cast of them coming at Phoenix Fan Fusion. So,
I missed out on 3 of them in Virginia because I'm poor.
Yeah, because Phoenix Fan Fusion, they have like a huge lineup for stuff. Well, a little bit of Star Wars, but mostly for Lord of the Rings too.
So they had Sean Astin, Gimli, and Liv Tyler and Orlando Bloom in Richmond, and I had to miss out on it. So I could
Bryant wants to know, how do you guys feel about Starfighter? I got the green light to work on it later this year, but
Woo!
I don't know.
Nice.
I think it's I don't know. I'm okay with it if it's like a Top Gun type thing. Someone brought up a really cool idea. If it were like a Top Gun-esque type movie, but leading up to the trench run in A New Hope. I can't remember who said that, but whoever said that was a genius. I think it might have been you, Star Wars Closet, actually.
I've got a hot take.
No.
I don't think we need Ryan Gosling in Star Wars.
Yeah, what's all that about?
I think they're trying to grasp at, let's get a big star in here and make it a box office thriller. And I'm going to be real with you. If it's not written right, it's going to really fuck up Star Wars and it's going to fuck up Ryan Gosling's career.
Yeah.
You know what?
I gotta take on that.
But the fact that he is wanting to come in because he's a fan of Star Wars, that makes me feel a little bit better. But at the same time, it's like, it's got to be a good. They've got to have shown him something that, because let's put it this way: if you come from outside Star Wars as an actor and you come into it, you're opening yourself up to a giant world of the shit that we dealt with on the stream the other day, the hate, the vitriol, and that kind of stuff. If he has seen something that they've shown him that he's like, I'm willing to do this and take on that risk, it's got to be good.
All right. Yeah. You know, I'm more intrigued on this one than it would be with a Rey trilogy. I'm sorry, I'm more intrigued about Starfire. Be more excited of that than
I disagree with you there. I think if we got a coherent story, Rey would be a badass character, but we didn't. We didn't.
And good character development.
In good character development, I think Rey could be a really cool character.
That's the problem.
We didn't get it.
Came in just guns a blazing.
We didn't get it. Instead we decided to axe off Finn being a good character. We got an underperforming Phasma. Like, you know, it's bad when you can sit there. There are people that won't give any of the sequel stuff a chance. Some of the comics are fucking sick.
Yeah.
And they completely nerfed all of the Ren Knights.
Yeah.
Like, they completely nerfed all of that. They made Kylo Ren into a pussy. Like, I mean, we can sit here and talk about it, but I think if it's done right, the sequels could have been massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
Retro Lad wants to know favorite Star Wars game. Go ahead, Closet. You can go first.
I gotta go.
Okay.
I just wanted to real quick. BP, is that you right there? Just to make sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
He thinks he's Jango Fett.
And then Josiah, are you on YouTube?
You know, I'm on Instagram and TikTok. I'm on there most of the time. I'm not a YouTube. I don't really post much on there, but TikTok I am and Instagram. Yeah.
All right, I'll find you. I gotta go. My favorite Star Wars game is probably Shadows of the Empire, even though I did a video on it. Actually, it's Jedi Academy. That's my favorite game. Second favorite game, Shadows of the Empire. Right. Even though Clone hates my guts, I sent him that game, so it's no big deal. I'm just a man of love, no matter what. Unconditional.
I love it.
Where's my free game?
Yeah.
You got to enter in a giveaway. In fact, I'm doing a 5,000 subscriber celebration giveaway right now. You can enter if you follow me on X. You win Han Solo and Chewie. Pew, pew, pew. I'm not doing the rest.
Devalued.
SD3.
They're fine. They're fine. They're fine.
You might as well give them away now.
I don't have a choice. Those are the ones I picked. I already
Closet. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it.
Indeed.
And may the force be with you.
Always great having you in.
How about you guys? Real quick, we go around the room. Favorite Star Wars game anywhere?
Ooh.
I think for me, it'd probably be the classic 2005 Battlefront 2. You have like the whole Tamara Morrison voicing the clones when you're doing that storyline about we knew what was going on. You know what I mean? Like that whole thing. Like oh man, like gives me chills when I think about it.
Yeah, that was that like Call of Duty intro before the Call of Duty intro.
Yeah.
Like, Zero Dark Dirty. Like,
yep.
Where's my panta?
How about you guys? Go ahead, real quick.
Star Wars Force Unleashed 1 and 2.
There you go. Great one. Yep.
BP? I haven't played most of the Star Wars games, so mine is Outlaws right now.
Okay. BP?
Just based off nostalgia, man, I'm gonna go with the Revenge of the Sith video game.
Yes. There you go.
PlayStation 2, man. Yeah.
Yep. Commander Jesse?
So I had to pick one. The first one I played was Jedi Academy, Jedi Outcast 2. So like nostalgia, but like Revenge of the Sith game, the original Battlefront 2, Force Unleashed. They were all peak. That was such a good era right there.
Yeah.
Oh, Lego Star Wars too. Shout out Lego Star Wars.
Muff?
I think it's a tie between. It's a three-way tie. Revenge of the Sith, the Bounty Hunter game, and then, like you said, OG Battlefront 2. I mean, like, I wouldn't be playing Call of Duty ever if it wasn't for Battlefront 2.
Oh, yes.
Bandit.
No. Andy, how about you?
Does it blend?
I didn't grow up with video games, really. I saw my cousins play Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I did have, for a little bit, Nintendo DS. No, Nintendo, yeah. A Nintendo Game Boy Advance, sorry, and it had I think it was called Flight of the Falcon. It was Millennium Falcon just shooting TIE fighters.
Again,
yeah.
Yep.
I really like Star Wars Battlefront 2015 version too. That's still like at its peak. Honestly.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I still play that game.
Yeah, me too, bro. Cargo match 6v6, man.
Ironside does not like the Ryan Gosling in Star Wars. I get it.
Among other things. Yeah.
Mac, man, welcome in, sir. Good to have you in here.
Oh God, Ironside. Oh man, Dark Forces. Oh, I completely forgot.
It says, guys, not sure if you talked about it earlier tonight, but explain this. Finn and Jana are getting a spin-off book, but they didn't announce it at Celebration
because they know that nobody will care.
Right.
Exactly. Sorry. Can you remind me who's Jana?
Jana is the oh man,
that former stormtrooper they find on the moon, one of those moons of Endor when they find the Death Star.
It's Lando. Implied that she was Lando's daughter.
They hinted at it because then there's the Shadow of the Sith novel where like part of the main plot is Lando's looking for his daughter. Yeah. So there's like rumors there, but it's like hinted at, but there's no like confirmed canon there.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm Ochi of Bestoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We bring back Lucas Arts games. We bring that back.
Oh, dude, we need it back so bad.
Man. Lucas Arts, man. That was the shit.
I'm telling you right now.
I still got them. I need these type of games back. Bring back the manual.
Dude, that whole like, intro they had where it was like the little figure. And it was like, and he like threw the stickers like, whoa, 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 and he like duck it and come back and hit, and then he's just like, with the Force lightning, you know, it was like sick.
They need to come back, bro.
I'm telling you right now, we get an open sandbox, massively multiplayer online game version of Star Wars, and my life is over.
Yeah,
they were supposed to have one. There was an open world one.
We were supposed to have a lot of cool shit in the gaming world.
How's
Then we got Outlaws.
Yeah.
So can you open up the cover again? So
what?
I can see the inside. Can you open up the cover again so we can see the inside?
Yeah, bro.
How's the nostalgia? The memory card spot. No, the memory card. Remember
the memory card spot,
dude. You know, I remember as a kid, I dropped mine so many times. The plastic casing was just shattered. It was sticky tape around sticky tape on this memory card I would take to my cousin's house. The nostalgia.
You guys probably know this game store, but it's usually be right next to Hollywood Videos. But GameStop, I think they've been around just as long. But Game Craze, though, you guys heard of that? Craze?
Game Craze.
We don't get cool stuff like that in Australia.
Here, now that GameStop killed them both off. And
but no, let me tell you, man.
Now we got DK oldies.
You can rent memory
cards.
Hot
take, Retro Lad. Hot take.
Yeah. I believe in that one too.
Yeah.
Did you guys get on the Battlefront remake? Well, not remake, but like when they brought it back out last year, the original 1 and 2?
No.
Heard
Buggy,
it.
man.
I heard I couldn't get into the servers.
Yeah, well, that was. I didn't really care about the multiplayer too much because I just wanted to do the story mode again. But yeah, like trying to get into multiplayer, like you could get in the servers, but then you'd like make a server for you and a mate. Like you'd set the password, they'd enter it, and they can't join. Like this, it was just broken. But I still got to play the story mode in that again and do the Galactic Conquest. So that was all good fun.
Yeah.
Iron Size does not like Outlaws. I wasn't a fan of it either. It was okay, but
I haven't played it.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
Guys,
What?
real quick, I'm gonna
I like
shamelessly plug this here. I am 2 subs away from 300. Can we get me there tonight?
Let's
Come
go,
on.
I'll get
boys.
you. I'll log into
Let's
the
go,
Kingdom
boys.
Heights and get you there.
Let's do this. Get me out of the 2s and into the 3s. Let's do this.
I'll have
Let's-
Star Wars Closet sub to you.
Right there we go.
Retro
So-
Lad said we need a Star Wars Underworld game. Isn't that what Outlaws is meant to be?
Well, I think he was referencing. Remember when we had the Outlaws game and show that were supposed to come out? Do you remember that? I think that's
yeah.
what he was referencing there. It's just kind of trying to be backhanded funny. So, guys, I
Cool,
want
there
to
you
probably end this about 15, 20 minutes or so. But before we go, I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts as far as where this show's going. Obviously, me, Muff, and Clone Force Closet as well will be on a live stream Tuesday night, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern.
Yeah, the
Commander
Seven
Jesse,
Persons podcast.
you're welcome to join. Again, everyone here is welcome to join if you guys want while we watch. So be there. We'd love to have you guys. What are you guys' thoughts? I'm not with these last 2 weeks. I'm not looking for anything or expecting anything crazy. But what do you guys think?
I want to see the turn of the dark side or the Empire realizing that they need to start, cracking the whip. And I want to see action. I don't give a shit what it is. I want to see action.
Yeah,
make me care.
Retro Lad, thank you. Thank you
There you
for
go.
thank you for subbing. Appreciate that. We need one more. Here we go. What about you guys?
I think next week's probably going to be the best week because just going off canon and what sort of was getting alluded to last week, the Gorman massacre occurs in 2BBY. Next week is 2BBY. So, I mean, next week will probably not make me fall asleep.
Or it might.
So yeah, or it might. Yeah, I don't. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know if it's going to happen over the span of 3 episodes, or it's going to be like a build up, and then it's going to happen in the final episode. Who knows? But yeah.
I think it's going to rebound. That's what I really think with this one. I think it was a massive build up, and even I said on my Instagram page, I'm still going to watch it because I really think that it's getting there. But it's just the first 6. I will say if I ever decide to ever watch the show again, it's going to be at the point where everything's about to go crazy. So I would think it'll be like a rebound. I will say for the last 6 episodes, they have to at this point. Can't imagine doing hold on 3 like this.
Yeah. By the way, guys, I threw up my link tree right here. Scan that, take you to all my socials in case you guys want to.
Ben Maynard, it is Star Wars Gazer, one word.
Yep. And like I said, my link tree is right here. You can scan that with your phone. It'll have a list of all my stuff, including my YouTube.
We're there. 300.
Let's do it.
300.
Yo, did it. Thank you guys so much for getting me to 300. All right.
Congrats.
Love it.
All right, now get the 4, rookie.
Right? I know. I love it. BP, what about you? What are you thinking?
About what exactly?
I like Toto.
Just about Andor in general, these next couple weeks. What are you looking for? I mean, obviously, we've shared our thoughts about what it's been so far, but
I mean, I'm cool with it now. I used to be more of a hater. I think I came at it a little aggressive, but these last 3 episodes, like I said, I kind of just put myself in the mindset of this is not really a Star Wars show, and just kind of went at it. And I'm not gonna lie, it was more enjoyable that way. So
yeah,
I don't know. Okay. I'm excited to see what the next 6 episodes are because it's kind of like there has to be something going on at this point. So we'll see.
Well, that's where I came at for Skeleton Crew, and that's why I really liked it. But we were also prefaced on Skeleton Crew that we were getting something different. It wasn't the same. We weren't going like, we promise you we're gonna make it more action packed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Clone Force?
So,
invalid.
I agreed with BP until he said the not a Star Wars show thing. But I was very negative the first 3 episodes because they hyped it up as every 3 episodes was a mini season, which is why they had to release 3 episodes together. That's obviously not what we've gotten. I liked the last 3 episodes, so I think it was subtle suspense in the last 3 episodes. And again, with what Jesse was saying, the Gorman Massacre is happening. I think this is going to go really well. Like these 3, but my hopes, like I had to change them. I had to go back to saying, hey, not every 3 episodes is going to be a mini season. I just had to go back to saying this is Star Wars Andor, and it's going to be slow like Andor season 1.
Yeah. Commander Jesse, how about you?
Wait, didn't I just say what? Like, I think it's building up to that.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, that I don't know what we're going to get in the last week, but I'm assuming we'll allude to it a bit next week. I don't know how it's going to get structured though. If it's going to be, Gorman Massacre over 3 episodes, or it's going to build up and then sort of get left with it in the last episode. But I don't know what the last 3 episodes of that last year are going to be. So maybe you might get a bit more of Jin. Maybe you might get a Jin appearance. I don't know.
I wouldn't.
I don't think so.
I'm not counting on it, but. Yeah, I'm trying to pull at strings here, see if they can get me interested at all. But
yeah, will you be joining us on Tuesday, maybe, sir?
I no, because work schedule changed, so I start work half an hour after it comes out. Yeah,
fired.
Andy,
fired guy.
Andy, how about you?
I'm excited for the next few episodes. I think things are going to start getting serious. I think we're going to start losing characters. They're going to start dropping like flies because they have to if they're not in the rest of the franchise.
Yep.
I am really actually looking forward to Cyril's story. He's been a blast this entire season so far for me. So I'm looking forward to more of that. I think if they just made the show from his perspective as a Imperial spy would have been really funny.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a really fun season, but I am also skeptical because they have not earned my trust.
Yep.
Fair.
Yep, that's fair enough. I think for me, I am very skeptical at this point. Maybe I need to do what Battle Packs did and change my mindset and my expectation. I think if I change that, maybe I could. Yeah, right. Maybe if I do that, it might be a little bit different. But I do hope these next couple weeks, especially this next week, is a lot more action-packed, and like we do start seeing those people start dropping like flies and things start happening and momentum builds. Again, this is coming from somebody who wants Star Wars projects to succeed. I don't want none of us here want them to fail, right? Like we'd rather.
I wanted the Acolyte to fail.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
We would rather sit here and talk about projects that are doing great, Star Wars projects that are awesome, right? Rather than talking about, man, we didn't really like that. So with that being said, I appreciate everyone who's been in here. We have 58 people currently watching us. I appreciate it from all across different streams, different platforms. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you to get me to 30. Let's see, final count right now, 301. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. That's awesome. Wanted to shout out a couple things here. Don't forget, go to paddlepacks.net, use code Gazer10.
Yeah.
Show this man some love over there. Get him some really cool stuff from him. Also, don't forget, go to Rebel Scum Art and Apparel. You get sweet shirts like this. Use code Star Wars Gazer, get 15% off your entire order. Appreciate you guys being on here. All of you guys that joined in the discussion on the chat, and all you guys in here with me. Buff, Battle Packs, Commander Jesse, Josiah, Clone Force, and Andy. And then Pop, and we got Closet, all those guys. I appreciate you guys. So we'll have to get you, every single one of you. Let's make this a Saturday thing. If you can make it, great. If you can't, then next time. All right? Appreciate you guys. Go follow all of these guys. I don't know who is making all that noise, but good Lord
Almighty.
Almighty.
Man, fuck 'em.
Yeah. Go follow Muff. Go follow Battle Packs. Commander Jesse, Josiah Bra, Clone Force, Andy Garcia. Yeah. Oh man. I love it. Thanks,
Yeah.
well, you gonna turn it on or just show it? Jeepers.
Fucking battery's dead.
Well, then don't show it. I mean,
Yeah, man, come on, Res 5, man, let's do it. 1-on-1, let's go.
What's up, motherfucker?
Oh, wait, you have a red lightsaber. Oh, my own prince's turn against me.
Yes. Real Ben, yes, good talk tonight. I appreciate it. Again, that's what we want to foster here. Good conversations. We can still leave as friends. So appreciate all you guys. Have a good night. Have a good May 4th. Don't forget about Revenge of the 5th. And may the Force be with you.
Always.
Well, what's his